Good googly moogly, ladies and gentlemen, huh? Come on with your bad self. What are you missing out of your life, folks? What are you missing out of your life? You're missing Lumosity.com. Get your fucking brain in order. Stop playing Angry Birds, or keep playing Angry Birds, but essentially know that you're wasting your time, whereas you could be playing games that are actually good for your dome. That's what Lumosity is. Lumosity is problem-solving games that are scientifically designed and based on like your needs. If you go to Lumosity.com, they give you a bunch of different options to fill out. You click the Get Started button now, Get Started Now button. You enter in your information, and then you start asking it, or it starts asking you, like, what specific things you want to work on. Do you want to work on memory? Do you want to work on, all sorts of different... It's trying to get me to sign in here. I don't know why it's trying to do that. Lumosity.com/Joe. Why is it... It's doing something weird here that it didn't do before. Anyway, scientifically designed to challenge your brain and do it like a game. So it makes it fun. I enjoy playing the games. It only takes a few minutes a day, and over time you can actually track your progress online and compare yourself to others if you're one of those motherfuckers that has to compare yourself to others. Like, there was this one guy, I remember this documentary about one of the smartest man in the world, and he worked as a bouncer in a bar in Long Island. And I'm like, no, you're not. Okay? You're not, because you work as a bouncer in a bar in Long Island. You're just not the fucking smartest guy in the world. And this guy was rambling on and on. He was super verbose and using a lot of big words and going on about, he's the first guy ever that's come the closest to ultimate meaning. Do you remember that guy?
No.
Big fat-faced dummy. I thought he was very, very
Hold out.
convinced. Why? Because he got a good number on a Mensa test. So he's good at figuring out how to count up numbers. Socially, he's a mess. Unable to see how goofy he sounds saying he's the smartest man in the world. No self-deprecating skills. Thinks he's a badass because he's a bouncer at a bar in Long Island, and think it's like some sort of a Runyon-esque character. Just a rebel. He's a bouncer, but he's the smartest man in the world. No, you're not, Dibby. If you were the smartest man in the world, you would realize being a bouncer at a fucking bar in Long Island sucks a fat dick, and you'd get a better job. Dummy. That job's dumb. Not that,
Guess I'm going to quit my job as a bouncer now.
I was a security guard at one point in time. I'm not above. I'm not above. Don't get me wrong. But you can't claim smartest guy in the world, and that's where you found yourself at 40. So shut your hole. And go to Lumosity. Go to Lumosity.com/Joe. That's Lumosity.com/Joe. Click the Start Training button, and then start playing your very first game. Lumosity.com/Joe. It's very interesting. It's a fun way to do things that ordinarily would feel just like games, but these games actually are scientifically designed through something called neuroplasticity, which I'm too stupid to understand. You can even play them from your iPhone, iPad, with a free Lumosity app. So Lumosity.com/Joe. Go check it out. Freaks! We're also brought to you by Onnit.com. That's ONNIT. Onnit is a human optimization website, and what we sell is everything that we find that benefits you, whether it's physically, whether through strength and conditioning equipment or exercise DVDs, or whether it's nutritionally through things like the new Warrior Bar that we just started selling, which is made out of organic buffalo meat and cranberries. It's fucking delicious. 14 grams of protein, no antibiotics, no added hormones, gluten-free, no nitrates. It's a fucking yummy thing that you can eat, and you don't have to feel bad about eating it because it's actually good for you. 140 calories, 4 grams of fat per 2-ounce serving, and 14 grams of protein from lean meat. It's the bomb diggity, sons and daughters. And other than that, we sell just the best shit that we can find, whether it's hemp protein powder or whether it's this earth-grown nutrient supplement that we've just recently started packing, which is fantastic. It's filled with all sorts of really healthy things for your body. Antioxidants, green blends full of micronutrients, things like spirulina and alfalfa. If you go to the website and read any of the products that we sell, there's a detailed explanation of what the ingredients ingredients are, why we chose them, what they do, what the science on them is. There's every supplement we have has referenced scientific papers that are written about the individual ingredients, and of course Alpha Brain by itself, which is a combination of already proven ingredients that we put together to try to form some sort of a synergistic effect. And we had positive results through a double-blind placebo trial, the results of which are available on Onnit.com. And there's also a new, much larger study that's going on, ongoing. 100% money back guarantee on all supplements as well. You have a 90 pill 30 day, or a 30 pill 90 day rather. 30 pill 90 day, 100% money back guarantee. You don't even have to return the product. Just say it sucks and you get your money back. No one's trying to rip you off. We're just trying to sell you awesome shit. Go to Onnit.com, ONNIT. Use the code word Rogan and save 10% off any and all supplements. Get on it, you dirty freaks. Honey is here. Why fuck around? Young Brian, cue the music.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night. All day.
What, you dirty freaks? Listen, we had an issue. We had a little sound issue. We wanted to make sure that everything was clean and smooth since you guys are here, and sound is a very important part of what you do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to tell you this. It is a key to your lifestyle. So, hey, what's up, fuckers? What are you doing?
We're chilling. We're so excited to be in California.
Yeah, what happened? Nashville lost its charm?
Well, it was snowing when we left, let's put it that way.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was snowing, and it's really interesting because the whole city really shuts down. Like schools close, and I'm talking like a mild dusting. Just like...
They just don't know what to do with it?
Well, it's like rain out here. If it rains here, people freak out.
Well, worse, though, right?
The freak out, you mean?
Like Joey, was it Tom Segura Joey was with? I forget who he was with in Oregon. They were up in Oregon doing shows, and a freak snowstorm blanketed the city, and then it got icy rain below it.
Yeah. Well.
So it was snow on top of icy rain. It was just the whole city just shut down.
I mean, if they don't have the, the salt trucks and all that stuff, and if people don't know how to drive it, they really shouldn't, But it's really interesting. I mean, they closed school for like 3 days, and the roads were really fine.
Right.
It was amazing.
What do you guys think about Nashville? Has the charm worn off? Are you bored with it already?
Man, well, we just talked, and we came back the other night. We got into LA yesterday, and walked into this bar, and all these people that I knew were there, and all these friends, and it just felt good, man. And there's friends. Nashville's interesting because when you first get there, it's such an open community, and people welcome you in, and everyone's sweet, and you have friends, and all of a sudden you go out to a bar and you know people. But there's a difference when you see people you've been with for 8 years, 10 years. It just feels good, man. Right. So coming back, I don't know.
It's so goddamn beautiful.
Got kind of wistful.
Do you guys do you miss the largeness of the city, or is it the people, the attitude? Like, did you feel different? Like a different vibe? I've never lived in Nashville.
Yeah.
But did you get
Definitely.
a different vibe from the people?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I mean, you can drive around the whole city in like 15 minutes. I mean, it's just the days feel longer because you're not stuck in your car trying to get here to there like you do in LA. It doesn't, I mean? You just sort of like, everything is really accessible. Which was great because as far as our productivity and working on the record, which is kind of why we went there, to write and have all this space, which we're
and then we just
still not done.
We didn't do it there. We keep coming back here to work on it.
Yeah,
but
it's true. So it's really interesting, like how there's a number of reasons why it's a much more affordable town and all that stuff. But when I come to California now, I really feel like this intense energy, like you're like vibrating. It's so exciting, and I just you kind of feel like it's like this shock of you're just awake, and there's all this stuff happening. There's so many fucking people,
right?
And Nashville's great. It's just like really chill.
Is that good?
Sometimes,
yeah,
but
sometimes.
But when you have it for a long time, you kind of get a little stir crazy.
It just doesn't have the diversity.
Look at my crazy eyes.
Yeah.
The diversity.
What you gonna do next?
The diversity?
Well, there's not here. It's a completely different game in terms of that. There's this really interesting smush going on of like Bible Belt conservatism and freaky people. There's kind of the freaky people area, but that's spreading. Quickly.
Freaky people are spreading.
Yeah,
We're winning.
Weirdos. Yeah.
Weirdos always win. We always win. It's more fun to be a weirdo.
It's true.
That Bible Belt shit, once you catch a few of them fucking kids, and doing weird shit, they were supposed to be all highfalutin.
Yeah, it's kind of game over there.
Yeah, it's game over. They start losing credibility. You know?
I definitely feel a little more self-aware in Nashville as far as like my, my fucking potty mouth and my, just being
loud and obnoxious.
And, because there's a lot more, I feel like
Not-
there's
I mean
a
that
lot.
in a
No,
good
I
way.
am. I'm pretty
That's the truth.
obnoxious.
I mean,
I'm pretty
we all
We don't
get
spend
that
much
way
time
when
together,
we get
but
liquored up.
You picked it up.
but I think people are a little more reserved there.
Of course, yeah. I genuinely really enjoy playing there. I think it's one of my favorite places to play. I love the people there. I love the small town thing about it too. I just think people are super friendly there. But I wonder if I would go crazy if I lived there. The Bible Belt thing would probably drive me crazy.
But you can avoid it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it seems fairly segregated. It's like you just don't walk down that street.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
street,
amazing.
people believe in dinosaurs. This street, not so much.
Oh, really?
Somebody tweeted me something with some woman, that was talking about that dinosaurs must have probably drowned, and she wasn't trolling. That Noah didn't have room for them on the ark, so they probably all drowned.
They would have
Yeah.
eaten him. They just eat him.
It was on her Facebook page, and someone sent me a tweet. Can you believe this silly bitch? And it was to her Facebook page because it was so ridiculous that random people that didn't even know her were going to her Facebook page and be like, "Bitch, are you fucking crazy? Dinosaurs drowned." It's fucking Russell Crowe's fault. He decided to do this goddamn Noah movie, and the whole thing gets stirred up again.
Russell Crowe.
I haven't seen anything about that.
God.
He's Noah. He's it's a Darren Aronofsky, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Aronofsky.
Aronofsky.
Yeah.
Who's apparently a bad motherfucker. He's done a lot of pretty badass movies, right?
Yeah.
What else has he done?
Oh God. Did he do Gladiator?
I don't think
You know
so.
what? I don't want to
No.
out myself as Darren.
I don't know who that is.
Have you seen the ads for Noah?
Nope.
It looks
It
pretty
looks
exciting.
intense.
Bro, damn.
It looks
Russell,
exciting.
I would love to give him a French braid.
Would you really?
Sure.
Like Rocket Jamaica style? Look, he's checking what's going on.
He's like the Denzel.
Of white people?
Yeah.
No.
He kind of
I
does.
disagree.
What did he say?
Denzel never got fat.
When did Russell Crowe get that? I think
He's fat right now.
that's muscle, man.
He just looks warmer.
Man corrupted
Please.
this world. Whoa. And filled it with violence.
That guy's no cardio.
So we must be destroyed.
I saw He Got Game. Have you seen He Got Game? Denzel can ball.
I love
believe
movies
you.
like this. I freak out.
You love this movie? Yeah,
Well,
it's
no, I
kind
like
of
movies
fun.
like this. Like, I don't want to, fantasy kind of, like Lord of the Rings. I'm so gay for Lord of the Rings. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I really enjoy Lord of the Rings, too. I love fantasy movies. They're fun.
Yeah.
I had high hopes for the new Conan movie. Didn't really
When
work
did that
out.
come out?
It's terrible.
I missed
Piece
that
of
one.
shit. But it was good like halfway into it. I was like, it's still pretty good. And then,
Yeah.
The
No.
new Conan is the guy from Game of Thrones who played the barbarian
Oh,
dude
God,
that was
yeah.
banging Khaleesi.
Love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big-
Bet you do.
big time.
Bet your eggs love him too.
God.
I met
Oh,
that
man.
dude. He's a very nice guy too. Big,
That's
giant,
great.
handsome bastard. And he was the perfect Conan. I mean,
Isn't he married to, like, Lenny Kravitz's daughter or something?
Could be. I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Yeah, the guy's pimping.
that'll work. That'll last.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Way to be optimistic.
Believe
No,
in
the
love,
guy.
Joe.
He's awesome. I mean, he's just too handsome to be running around there,
Yeah.
married to
Impregnated.
anybody.
That's a
But
problem.
the movie was like it held promise. It like looked like it was going to be good, but like all these fucking movies, it eventually falls apart. Unfortunately, but I gave it a shot.
I don't even remember that coming out. Did it get good reviews or did?
Nope, dog shit reviews. It just wasn't that good. But he's the perfect Conan. If they had a good writer, like if you got James Cameron involved and he put together like some Avatar type Conan movie,
Yeah.
it would be the shit. Because the guy's the perfect Conan. The guy can act his ass off. He's good. He really would have been Conan, but they gave him a dog shit movie.
That's a bummer.
It is.
Yeah. And you can't turn that role. It's a huge role. You can't turn it down, and
Exactly.
then everything else falls through.
Well,
Poor
nobody
guy.
remembers anyway. You guys didn't remember. Nobody remembers.
Yeah, I had no
you
idea.
know?
I think making movies must be hard.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
the sense I get.
It's
No, it's so
impossible.
easy.
So yeah, you do it at home. There's like there's so many people involved. There's too
Not
many
my
people.
joke.
The
Yeah.
beautiful thing about what you guys do is who do you fucking talk amongst yourselves. You say you want more of this and he says he wants more of that and together you find some sort of a happy medium and you create your shit. But could you imagine if you
Not
had a
that
bunch
easy,
of
Joe.
money people? Well, I'm not saying it's
No, but
easy at all,
it's a
but
different type of
it's
pressure, though.
Yeah,
less
totally.
intervention
Sure.
than you making a movie, man. You got hundreds of people that have their say. You have so many people that you have to.
Well, it depends on what kind of movie you're making. If you're making an independent movie.
Right.
You have your
even then,
independent.
You guys still have to deal with
small crew, there's
actors.
15 people.
Some
Those
actor
guys.
wants to do a fucking monologue in the middle of the scene. You're like, bro, that's not the part. The part is not. He doesn't do a monologue, man. I'll do it if I could do a monologue. Well, it's a different movie then.
Ad-libbing.
The guy's
Great.
deaf. He can't talk. Well, I just feel like he could be like the end. Psych. Here's what I had to say.
Psych.
You know?
Always about making choices. It's just a choice.
It's just when you deal with a lot of people, it's very difficult to have a creative vision that goes through. Do you guys have any like? Does your manager ever say, "Look, you need more jokes or more songs about this or more songs about that"?
We've had stuff like that before.
Is it
and
gross?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we at the end of the day, it's like if you.
Have we really?
Well,
I'm trying to think.
We've
No,
back in the
I think we're
day-
too difficult to work with like that. We don't right now. We don't have a manager right now. Maybe that's
Yeah.
What
why.
happened? I met your manager. It all fell.
We-
Was it? Did I meet your agent or your manager?
You met he was our manager.
I
Then he
can't remember.
became an agent.
Yeah, and that was
Oh.
an amicable thing, but just I don't know, kind of like the
Yeah,
tides
like
of
I don't
time.
like you. You don't like me. Let's get out of here.
No,
That's like
it was-
amicable
It was love.
divorces.
It was
There was
really.
love.
When people say amicable divorces, like, well, it's amicable. Well, no, it's not amicable. You got so sick of each other that you went to court. Okay, don't tell me it's amicable. You
heard
might
a new-
like each other still as human beings, but that shit ain't amicable. You don't live together anymore. You don't fuck. You guys got divorced, son. That's not. That's not
man.
amicable.
I heard a new term for that today, though.
What?
Because I was reading about the Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin. It just came up. I wasn't
Oh
looking
no, are
for
they
it.
splitting up?
It's a unconscious. Wait. Conscious unpartnering.
I always
Conscious
hate when they end, you know?
unpartnering.
Gwyneth Paltrow splitting up with her man.
Dispartnering.
So sad.
Look, I'm a fucking romantic. Okay?
Hey, I bet you are.
I mean,
Let love live.
I believe it. Hey, but listen, there's nothing wrong with love. Hey,
but I'm also
just
really
saying.
bad
How
at
long do you want
relationships.
to live with Gwyneth Paltrow for, though? Or that guy from Coldplay? I'm sure he's a fucking whiny vagina too. Jesus Christ! I mean, anybody who writes and sings those songs, beautiful songs as they may be, why are you not
A lot of
like?
tears. A lot of single
Yeah,
tears. In
how come your songs aren't about celebrating the fact that you're a fucking rock star?
Yeah.
How come your songs aren't celebrating the
Maybe
fact
that's
that
what we should do, Ben,
hard
and
to
then
write
it'll actually
happy
come
shit.
to fruition.
Yeah.
It truly is. Like
It's a celebration.
you're unbelievable.
Cool and the Gang knew how to do it.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But most people, I bet most of the
He still knows
bands
how to do it.
that you listen to write depressing shit a lot of
Right.
the time.
We're
right?
pretty
Is
dark.
that
Yeah,
easier?
we have no
It's
room
just
to talk.
easy to access that stuff, or easier. I guess.
Is it easier also to not be like a sort of a superficial dummy who's singing about happiness? Like if you sing about moodiness, like you're automatically
Yeah.
deep and meaningful.
Yeah, bro.
Like
Well-
I remember that movie 21 Grams. You remember that movie?
God, I just saw that recently. It's so sad.
It's so sad. And I made a decision after I saw that movie. I said, never again will I go see a movie that's trying to make me sad.
Yeah.
Like I don't buy
Trainspotting.
the idea that it's deep because it makes you feel like shit. I
Yeah.
don't buy it. I know what you're doing. This is a game here. Everything falls apart. Everything goes to shit. And at the end, you feel all this loss. And then I leave. I know what you did. You guys fucked me. You pretended that you were doing something deep. You're not. You're just doing something depressing.
Yeah.
Depressing and deep are not the same goddamn
Well, what are
thing.
your
been
thoughts
happening a
on? I recently saw that movie. Was it The Lone Ranger? Wait, no, not The Lone Ranger.
There was some,
That was so
some
depressing.
deep
No, wait,
moments
wait,
there.
Johnny
Yeah.
Depp is not a fucking Indian, okay?
not The Lone Ranger. Not The Lone Ranger. But the one with Mark Wahlberg. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
The lone soldier, lone survivor.
Lone Survivor. God, Samsonite. It was. But that was based off of a true story
Yes.
and actually has some relevance as far as the reality that we live in right now.
Yes, definitely.
But that is a little bit different. That's not necessarily like, hey, I'm making this movie to fuck you up.
Yeah.
But it really fucked me up. I had to go
course.
drive around for like 20 minutes after I left the movie theater, and it was. I mean, did you see it?
I watched part of it. Those movies kind of bum me out.
Yeah.
Marcus Luttrell is a guy I've met at the UFC a few times. The
Okay.
guy who's the story's based on. He's actually in the movie. He had a part.
He did.
Yeah, but he, his real story.
You've met him?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a real hard time watching dramatizations with Marky Mark and someone
Yeah.
else playing these guys. I know it was awesome, and I'm not putting him down. I love Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I thought he was great in that movie with The Rock. He's fucking great. Kid's a great actor. It's not that. It's just I know he's Marky Mark. You
He'll
know,
always
not-
be Dirk Diggler, though.
whoever he is, he's Mark Wahlberg. I know he's Mark Wahlberg, and I know who the guy is. I know that guy, Marcus Luttrell, is a real person. So when I'm watching a recreation, weird, but I can't separate myself from the art. I enjoy them much more in works of fiction than I do in recreations. I never enjoy recreations because I'm always like, that didn't fucking happen like that. That's probably bullshit.
So you weren't pumped about Titanic, is what you're saying?
Well, Titanic is different because it had Leonardo and Kate.
And the chemistry there just went right to your tinker.
That was
I knew it, you
He
softy.
was like a tramp and a young man with passion, poetry in his heart. No, it's just, I think, I don't like recreations, you know. I know there's too much fuckery involved in the creation of those things.
So are you more of a kind of like a Frozen guy?
I love Frozen.
See?
I saw it twice.
Here we go. I love
I have
this.
a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
I
They
love
love it. You come over to my house at any point in time and you hear, let it go, let it go, can't hold me back anymore. They'll start singing at the drop of a hat. They jump up on the couch and start singing.
That's amazing.
Hey, little girls love princesses, man. There's nothing you can do about that.
There's this rapper that has the second best song, but he's like, man, I could have had the number one song if it wasn't because of the Frozen soundtrack.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Frozen is a good fucking movie, man. For little kids, it's not a good movie for adults, but as an adult, you can enjoy it. Like I find that there's a lot of these movies that they're made for little kids, but they do a really good job, and you can actually sit and enjoy the movie with your kids. Like I saw Mr. Peabody's movie. The Lego movie is a perfect example.
Man.
It's a good fucking movie.
You went to see that by yourself, did you not?
Easy there, yeah, but yeah, I did.
It was a good movie.
And it brought me up. I felt like I was walking out with a whole bunch of friends.
I saw Mr. Peabody in the Wayback Machine this weekend, whatever the fuck it's called. It's really good. First of all, the animation is fucking amazing.
Oh, the dog.
The dog that made a time machine.
Dope.
It's fucking badass. It's fun.
I didn't see it. Damn it.
It's interesting. It's fun, you know? And it's also like just what they can do with animation now when they're operating the time machine. You're like, God damn, they make shit look beautiful. You know, make Scooby-Doo look like dog shit. You know, you stop and look at the kind of like this is Mr. Peabody.
Really, this was good.
Yeah, no, you got to see the Time Machine series when he actually uses the time machine. You got to look for it and find a video that when they operate the time machine. You see the graphics involved. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
These kids today, they're so spoiled
Yeah,
with
it's
beauty.
true. It's true. I liked Up. I was a big fan of Up.
Up was great.
When that came out, yeah.
But that's depressing as fuck. That guy's essentially suicidal.
No, I think it's good to have a little darkness for kids. You have to get a little introduction
You're one
into
of those
reality.
broads.
I am because I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to get into details, but like I had a real solid shattering of my idealism in my adulthood that was like really intense. And it's interesting when you sort of, I mean,
Up could have prepared you for that.
well, yeah, fuck yeah.
No, I'm kind of fucking around, but I'm not fucking around.
No, but I'm serious as far as like, you know, the princess reality for little kids, you know, if you sort of had this like fairy tale,
Right.
it's just and not in an aggressive way. So my ex-boyfriend wrote this book that is actually it's a children's book. It's called Kate's First Mate. And it's about relationships, but it's written as a children's book, and it's actually really amazing. And he sells it like hotcakes in all these like kind of little hipster stores in California. And it's published, and it's a really interesting look at you know choosing a partner for when you're a kid, and just sort of rather than like Prince Charming comes in on a white horse. It's it just sort of has this really great way to kind of just give a small introduction to kids about reality, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and you go through the storm, and then you come out captaining the ship with your partner.
What's interesting, man? Man.
Yeah, bro.
People, friends,
babe.
What's interesting, friends, is how much they're trying to take when they take old stories and they pull all the teeth out of them. Like it's really kind of fascinating. Like the Big Bad Wolf or any of these stories. Like there's this trend. What is this?
There's a lot of people that think that Disney's Frozen is teaching kids to be like gay, like Disney's gay propaganda.
Excellent.
Fucking idiots. Why? What's gay about Frozen?
They said that the main character with the other girl. I never saw it, so I don't know. But
the main character, the sister, that they're gay.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Just don't even click on that. That's just morons.
And about bestiality too, because of the animals were her friends. Oh, and it's teaching kids about bestiality.
What about your pet?
You should bring that person on the podcast. I'd like to see that one.
Not even. Then they'd know where the podcast is. Fuck all these fucking dummies. God damn it. I don't remember what we were talking about.
How they took the old
they
stories.
take all these stories like the Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood, and they kind of like dress it down. They take away all the violence and scariness out of it, and you
Wait,
get
are
a
you talking
version
about
of it.
like for kids?
For
or
kids.
Oh, okay.
Like Rapunzel. Here's a perfect example.
Yeah, that shit was scary. Like the real ones were really scary.
That witch. She
I
took
can't handle that
Rapunzel,
even now.
cut her hair off, and pretended that the guy was climbing her hair, and then pushed him off, and he got blinded. That's the original story. He fell into a briar bush, and his eyes got fucking gouged out. That's the original story. If you read the original one, you're like, whoa.
All that Brothers Grimm stuff.
All that stuff was
Gretel
dark.
Like, like sticking out a dead chicken bone. They think it's their finger.
Yeah. Well, and the wolf ate Little Red Riding Hood and the grandmother. I mean,
she died in the original one?
In the original one,
God,
she was eaten by the wolf, and then somehow or another, the hunter cut her out of the wolf or something like that.
You know what? I do remember that.
Yeah. The grandma and her, they're both okay. Cut them out.
Let's bring it back to Real Town, kids. This is what's really happening.
Well, it's just weird how, they try to, like, slowly but surely over time take the teeth out of a lot of those things. It's like if you go back and watch cartoons from, like, when I was a kid, they were all about violence.
Yeah.
Cartoons were all about anvils falling on people's heads and explosions, spinning a duck's beak around a circle.
Yeah, but then you have some really terrible things that there's never one reason to blame for when there's like a school shooting or something like that. But then that is the basis of changing the whole, viewing demographic and, watering it down so it's not as violent. Like, I don't really have an opinion on it. But that's where it comes from.
I don't know if there's a direct correlation between viewing violence and enacting violence. I'm really not sure if there is, nor am I sure if it's ever been proven. Because you see more violence now than ever, and I would say that it's probably the least violent time we've ever existed on Earth. But I know that kids have done shit they saw in commercials or in cartoons, rather. Mm-hmm. My cousin Mikey hit his brother over the head with a frying pan because he thought it was going to turn into one of those shapes.
I've heard other people do that.
The head boners.
Swear to God.
Fucking cracked him over the head because he thought it was going to like turn to the shape of a frying pan. He fucking walked up to his little brother, went bong. And you hear screaming, and the dad beat the shit out of him. It was craziness.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was dark.
How'd he come out? Is he okay?
He's fucked up. That kid's always been fucked up. I avoided him ever since I was like 7. Right when I get out of Catholic school, I avoided my cousin too.
Learned so much.
I don't know. It might not even been my cousin Mikey. Mike might have actually been his neighbor, now that I think about it. Either way, not good to hit kids in the head with a frying pan.
Yeah.
And he learned it from a television
Something
show.
to avoid.
Some cartoon. You bong, and your head is like, you got to do that thing. It shakes it back.
Oh, boy.
Nobody ever dies, but everybody gets blown to fucking smithereens. I mean, all the shit that happened to Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
And, at the end, he would pop his head up, and fucking dust would fall off of him, and he was fine.
Funny.
That fucker.
Yeah.
But it was all violence. There's none of that today. You will never see a kids show today that has violence in it.
Yeah.
They just don't have it. Everything's cutesy pie.
I don't know. Kung Fu Panda was pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that was cool.
We're raising pussies. No one shot the panda. All right, the panda should have been hit with a fucking missile.
Yeah, there was a lot of guns
some
and
cannonballs
old
in there.
folklore and what
Were
have you,
there?
rifles.
Yeah.
Cannonballs,
A little bit.
but no one got hurt, right?
No, there was no serious injury.
Feelings were
nobody
hurt, though,
died.
and that's important.
Yeah.
Humans were hurt.
Feelings.
Feelings. Oh, feelings are more valuable sometimes.
But at the same time, you have this whole world of really fucked up abstract cartoons and shit, right? That is available to kids. It's not presented to them, really. But if you Google some weird stuff, you can find anything you want. You can be a 5-year-old now and probably
if you're a
stumble
5-year-old
onto
that's
some-
Googling, your parents are doing a shitty fucking job. Listen,
Maybe
dude,
so.
you don't leave 5-year-olds in front of a fucking computer
Yeah, I don't
ever.
have kids. I can't. I have no.
Yeah, no, it's a lot
That's-
older
I was
than
a,
that.
I was a
but-
nanny back in the day. You were saying something.
No, that was it. I just figured this was me assuming or guessing that you can get into some weird stuff too.
You could if you had no oversight.
Yeah.
But you should have oversight when you're 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we were talking about when I was when I did a magic show on Fisherman's Wharf when I was 8. Why did I do
insane,
that?
man.
Because nobody was watching me. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like anybody tells you I was raised correctly, I point to that and go, do you think it's an 8-year-old should be able to just walk down the street and not tell anybody where he's going?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No.
Like that's not a good move.
That's pretty profound, though, that you were like, did you take the train or
Walked.
something? You walked. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I lived
Was
in
it
San Francisco.
nighttime?
Yeah, no, it was during the day. I lived pretty close to Fisherman's Wharf, and I noticed that people were doing these one-person shows on Fisherman's Wharf. They had like a little box out, and people would throw money in it. So I
Yeah.
did a magic show.
Wow.
People
Yeah,
threw
but that's
money.
amazing. And it's almost good that no one stopped you, right? You didn't have oversight and you figure your shit out. Maybe something horrible could have befallen
Yeah, I
you.
almost got raped by some dude.
Did you? But you didn't.
Yeah, I got
You
lucky.
didn't.
The
That's what's
librarian saw the guy and yelled. I was ready to go out
Are you
into this
serious?
guy's car. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was the same age. I was really into monsters, like monster books and stuff like that. So I was
Yeah.
at the library in the monster section, pulling out these books, and this
Oh my
guy
God.
came up to me and told me that he had monster books in his car. And I didn't
Holy
know any
shit.
better. I was only 8 years old, so I was like, "Okay, you got monster books?" Like
Yeah.
I thought it's just a guy with monster books.
You're like, I'll sit in your lap for some monster books.
And as I was walking towards the car, the librarian starts screaming, "You get away from him. That guy just
Wow.
got out of
Monster
prison. That guy just got out of prison."
Really?
fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, apparently he was
Ugh.
like a known pedo, and they would have to watch him when he would go to the library because you'd go scouting around for kids. Yeah.
That's some scary shit. I had some weird stuff when I was a kid. There was this older boy who was in the neighborhood, and I was a little tomboy. I'd always be like playing in the backyard, I don't know, like chopping trees, whatever. We grew up on an acre. And I had this really interesting moment where I was in the backyard and I was obsessed with fishing. I loved to fish. I still do. And I'd always talk about it. I was really weird. Didn't have a lot of friends. And this older boy was like maybe 14 and I was 9 or 10, comes out of the wood line. He's like, "Hey, Suzanne, there's a largemouth bass in the creek. You got to come see it right now. You got to come see it." And I remember like being like, "Oh, okay, let me get my shoes. Like, I got to go to the house." And like, I think my parents were out and my sisters and I would always like, when we were kids, everybody would be running around like playing, baseball. Like there was a pack of kids and my sisters were home, but I didn't know where they were. And I ran upstairs to get my shoes. And then all of a sudden I had this moment of, I was totally terrified. I was just, all of a sudden I felt like really weird. And I went upstairs in my bedroom, which overlooked the backyard, and I watched him and I didn't leave. I got really scared. And I watched him and I watched him kind of wait around for a while and leave. And like later this kid was like years later, he was like blowing up squirrels in his treehouse and he was hurting like the neighborhood animals and like got into some serious trouble. Like he was a violent kid. And now as an adult, like there's no way there was a largemouth bass in the creek. It was like this tiny little creek. And I really do, when I think about it, I feel like I avoided
Dodged a bullet.
a really weird situation.
Wow.
Who fucking knows?
Who fucking knows? I mean, you might have been the first one that he killed. It might have been the circumstances
I don't
were
know.
right. You never know.
But I really like, it was like, it's so funny. Like I don't remember everything, but I will never forget that feeling of like I was just terrified. I didn't want to go back.
And you never know, like certain circumstances, like people are like really close to doing something fucked up and never do it until a circumstance arises. That might have been the circumstance that pushed the guy over the edge.
Well, the person that blows up animals in their treehouse has
Yeah.
some serious issues, if you ask me.
Well, anybody who does torturous animals, that's like
Yeah.
one of the first things they look for.
Yeah.
When you find out that your son has been nailing a squirrel to a board and sticking sticks up its ass and stuff like that, like that kid's a
God.
monster. Like you got a bunch of bad connections.
Yeah.
And you should take the little fucker fishing. Take him out in the middle of the ocean.
Frying pan,
Sorry, it didn't work out. Sorry,
Well,
buddy.
see you later.
Sorry, pal. I raised a monster. Gotta take it out. Take it
Oh,
out to the
boy.
ocean.
Yeah.
And then
Still
you-
love fishing, though.
Fishing's
God
great.
damn.
Fishing's great. Psycho's bad.
We rented a pontoon boat in Tennessee. That was really fun.
Tennessee's
We
got
went
some
out
great
with a
bass
bunch
fishing.
of friends. Didn't catch a fish, but
Nothing.
man, drank a whole bunch of beer. Got a suntan, if you can believe that, because I'm white as goat cheese. It's very rare. But
So are you guys
super
going to
fun.
move back? What are you going to do?
Man,
We got to make some
we're
money
talking
first.
about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got to finish this record.
Can we live in your
finish the
basement?
record.
My basement has an isolation tank in it. There's no
Oh,
room
God.
for
We'll
people.
be in there. Hey, did we talk about that? Thank
We
you
didn't
for
tell-
putting us
yeah.
in that tank.
Oh, did you get
that
in
time.
it?
we did.
Yeah?
Yeah, we met Crash.
How was the experience? No, we didn't talk about it. How was it?
It was awesome. I kind of freaked out at one point.
Did you?
Yeah, because I started to get really. I was like, oh my God, what if Crash forgot to close the air or open the air thing, and I started to then I was like, I can't breathe, and I was like trying to find the door, and then I got the water in my eye, and I was like, God.
Oh my God, you panicked.
Disaster.
Oh yeah, I lost it.
You panicked. How dare you?
Super cute. It was a real cute, precious moment I had naked in that tank.
Wow. That's hilarious. Yeah, next time, relax.
I know. Well, story.
You'll be fine.
It's hard. That's a new experience. Man.
Yeah.
That is not something I'm accustomed to.
That's the thing about it. It's like it's not one of those things you get used to the first time. And you get better at it. My body's so used to it that I get in there and my body goes, "Oh, we're in the tank," and then I just let go immediately. But when I first started doing it, I'd be like, I had all this busy work, I'd want to itch something.
It's like meditation.
Yeah. But now you can just settle in. But you can come up with some great ideas in there too. It's like you never get a chance to be alone with yourself like you do in that tank. If you really want to be a moody, depressing fuck and write some shit that's going to make people cry,
no thanks.
That's the spot. That's the spot.
In a box of blackness.
Or figure things out. I just think there's no better place for me to figure things out. Like anytime I have real problems in my life, anytime there's any disputes or anytime I'm doing something I don't want to be doing, I get in that tank and it sort of provides me with the resources to come up with the right answers. Because other than that tank, you don't get alone time like that. You never get alone time from your body.
Or that's where you meditate?
No, I don't ever meditate outside the tank.
Yeah.
Except, I guess, a little bit doing yoga. I guess a little bit of that's meditation, but it's yoga. It's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. The tank is just the mind. But I don't fuck around with regular meditation. To me, it's like running when you have a car. Like, I want to get to Vegas. Probably better drive. It'd take a lot longer to walk. Like just
Why
sitting
would you
there.
walk to Vegas?
This is what oming is. It's walking to Vegas.
I don't know. I'm into it. I'm not gonna lie.
Try meditating.
I'm already
in a
calming
tank.
down just listening to you do that.
If you get a tank in the basement and om in the tank, it's some next level shit. I om in the tank. I om in the tank. I do these breathing exercises in the tank where I breathe in for 1 minute and then I breathe out for 1 minute.
Holy shit.
Yeah, one slow minute breathing in and 1 slow minute breathing out. Breathing
so
out
when was it
really
that you
hard.
discovered that you, in fact, actually were Jason Bourne?
The first Jason Bourne movies I enjoyed, but the new one with that fucking guy,
I'd
new
still
guy, Jeremy Renner,
let him
it's
take
too
me
much
for a walk.
fake karate going on.
Oh,
It's too much shit that the body can't do. I'm not buying it.
Why can't you let us live in our fantasy
Guy's
world?
living in the fucking frozen north in his underwear. They come and get
What's
him.
wrong
They
with
activate
that?
him.
Nothing's wrong with that.
Guy's gonna get hypothermia. He's a fucking
Great
human.
scene.
Jumping off of buildings, landing on people's heads. No ankle
Movies
tweaks.
aren't real?
Nothing. I'm not
Damn.
buying it. And here's the big one: doesn't have sex with anybody.
I know, that is a bummer. That's
Shame.
a super bummer.
It's ridiculous.
Spies don't do that. Spies are boning everywhere.
Well, it's what we're doing here. The pussification of the American male is almost complete. Our superheroes don't even get pussy. James Bond fucked everyone, okay? He was from England, goddammit, and he fucked everyone. He fucked everyone. He drank. We even know how he takes his fucking martinis. Sure. Shaken, never stirred. We know how he likes his drugs. That's fucking the murderer's drug distribution. He got mad pussy, fucked, and he had so much pussy, he had a movie called Octopussy.
That's pretty
I mean,
amazing.
Jesus fucking Christ.
pussies.
No, he's a winner.
Meanwhile, Jeremy Renner saves the girl who's hotter than the surface of the fucking sun. He's hanging out with her all movie long. Obviously, she's enthralled with him. And the end of the movie is so symbolic of the neutering of the American male that even these super badass murdering superstars sit, like, they're on the boat together and they're sitting across from each other.
Why do you think that
on
is?
a table.
Why do you think they didn't give us
did you see
some
the movie?
action?
I want to know how
I
they
did.
got out of that.
There was a very intense, intimate
decide to
look
be friends?
into each other's eyes.
Yeah, barely.
That was like once the credits roll, we're gonna bone.
No,
And you're
I
like,
didn't see
"What?
that.
Why couldn't you bone before the credits rolled?
I didn't
would have
see
liked to
that
see
at
that.
all. I didn't see what you're seeing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see any boning going on ever in their future.
No. It was unspoken, Joe.
I think his dick's broken. I think in order to be able to flip
No
like
way. I
that,
think Jeremy
they did
Renner's dick
something
is working fine.
In real life, I'm sure it works great. But that Jeremy Renner in the movie, the Jason Bourne
Bourne's
guy,
dick.
it wasn't
dick.
Jason Bourne. He was the new guy. He was the.
I don't know what I'm
He
talking
was
about.
another
the
guy.
Afterborn.
He was
Yeah.
whatever his
Stillborn.
fucking name was. Yeah. Born with a broken dick.
I don't think
The guy's kicking everybody's ass, and this girl clearly wants to throw down. She's like staring at him, like, "Oh my god, you're the best. You saved my life over and over again." And you're single, and I'm single. Like, what are we fucking around for? And he's just standing there, staring at her.
Maybe
Like,
he's gay.
I am your robot. I will kill for you, but I cannot fuck.
See,
He didn't have any romantic attachment to her. There's no kissing. There's no hugging.
I don't think we
Must have
can
been a
blame that
personality thing.
on the next Jason Bourne guy, whatever his name is,
No.
because it's not his fault.
No, he's symptomatic of a problem we have in society. The sexuality of the American male is a dangerous thing. The neutering of the American male is a lot of people's goals. Ultimately, as we move away from our primate warring lifestyle into this transcendental experience where we pass through the next dimension and we exist in a world of information purely without any of the needs of the flesh. That's what we're moving away from.
Wait,
that's
why?
why people don't want to be hairy. That's why everybody wants to shave your bush, shave everything
Hair's
down.
coming back though. The beards.
It's
70s
like,
Bush is making a comeback.
I don't know.
it's
about
like
that.
I
skinny
heard.
jeans. It's not going to last. It's
When
one of those
Bush comes
things.
to shove.
When Bush comes to
Come
shove.
on.
I think it's all the same thing. I think we're moving away from
I can't take credit for
animal
that.
instincts. And so even in our superheroes, we want no animal instincts. He's just a killing martial arts robot who doesn't want to fuck. At the end of it, he sits down there, and there's no threat whatsoever that he only saved all those people
But
because he
don't you
wants to
think
fuck
that's
her.
because the people that wrote the movie wanted to widen their audience instead?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but why would
But
that
doesn't
be
everybody
appealing?
love sex?
Why would that be appealing?
Definitely.
If more people watch porn than almost anything on the internet. It's some insane amount of bandwidth allocated.
But I thought porn
to
wasn't
porn.
real.
That's only Brian's dad.
Sorry, Gary.
Sorry, Gary.
No, all together. 1, 2, 3. Sorry,
Gary.
You're taking it out of context like you always do, Brian. I'm tired of your bullshit. Just because you're on the internet doesn't mean you have to get back at me for everything that ever happened.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I think there is a move, without a doubt, to moving away from animal instincts. So
But
I think
but
it's
I think
inevitable.
there's a female empowerment thing going on, and that's an animal instinct, right?
What female empowerment do you think?
Well, I'm actually,
No.
and I'm just going to go with it. But I was stumbling across some pornography, and for the first time,
How
was that?
does one do it? Well, I was brushing my teeth and I stepped on a sock and went flying forward, and my head hit a
Typed
certain
very
key
specific things.
on the laptop. And
It was for YouTube,
here,
not
look.
YouPorn.
I'm just going to barrel through this because I thought it was interesting. It was purely sociological. So there's like this. They have all these
now I'm
different.
picturing you beating off, tongue out.
God.
I bet he beats off like this.
Joe,
We don't have
please.
to. I do. You know,
Bet
the
you one of
tongue
those
is.
guys.
I didn't even think about it.
Is there
just
crying
comes out.
involved?
Maybe I should. Sometimes I don't give
Yummy.
me what I need.
Wait,
And
what's
as he
so
comes, he
Ben?
goes,
Female
"Yummy."
involved?
Now I realize the path that I'm going down. I feel like I should wheel around and go.
No.
Neutering
Okay,
the
we'll
American
get there.
male
No.
by Joe Rogan.
This was the first. It was like a casting couch scenario, right? Where
Yeah.
they usually have the casting couch. This isn't just in porn. This is just in general.
Right, those
You
are
bring
Greg
in-
Fitzsimmons' favorites.
Yeah, you bring in a
loves
chick
casting
and you
couch
kind
porn.
of debase her and make her do whatever you want her to do. But this flipped it around completely and had this chick completely dominating a whole group of guys. There's a whole series of them. I've never seen that before.
That's rare as fuck, dude. You're talking about
It's
trends.
coming around though. It's coming around.
And
Yeah.
Suzanne had this on her phone?
Is it bookmarked?
Damn, Ben, how'd you get my
Bookmark,
passcode?
double bookmark,
I feel so
put in the
violated.
cloud, save to cloud. Yes,
Well, you're
yes,
gonna pay for
yes.
that later.
Ask to be involved.
I don't know. I mean, for women, yeah, most certainly. I mean, but it's also like, think about the fantasies that exist for men, the really unrealistic fantasies of, you order a pizza and the pizza girl comes over and she's wearing a bikini and next thing you know, she's blowing you and your friend. And you're both banging her. Is that realistic? Is
My
that
friend's
coming
like that.
around? No, and it doesn't represent real life.
Isn't
It
that
represents
friend
what
Sherry?
people
She just
want.
came over to take a shower.
But I mean, if you wanted like
then he
porn
fixes
for
the
women,
table.
porn for women, I don't think would even be that. I think porn for women would probably be far more romantic.
that
I think
too?
also I think there's a difference between the visual aspect, like what men find appealing, what women find appealing. So like women are into like books, like 50 Shades of Grey type pornography.
I don't know about
like
that.
but some women are into less visual representations of
makes sense.
sexuality. They don't watch it as much. I mean, women don't watch it as much as men do.
But you never know how much
historically.
stigma is involved with that. Say, I can't. This website is
But you
fucking
do,
gross and weird, so women stay away from it. Not necessarily they don't want to.
But I don't know about that because
Well, I'll
women
be
watch
honest
what they
with
want
you.
when they're alone. You're alone.
It makes
but
a difference if it's actually like real. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's not, like if a woman's actually coming, that's the best one if you ask me, as far as like staged porn,
Right.
Because if it's just for the dude,
Right. There's a lot of that too, right?
and
It plays up for the dude.
You can kind of sniff that out. I'm not trying to give myself up here.
Sniff it out.
Interesting. Yeah.
You're a pointer. You got one paw up. Ruff, ruff, she's coming.
That's exactly how it is.
He really did eat her out. Ruff, ruff. Arf,
Oh
arf.
God, I need.
She likes him. Arf, arf. Yeah, I see. I think a lot of women are into porn. Don't get me wrong. I'm not delusional, but I think that there's a lot more women are into literature pornography than men are into literature pornography. Like almost no men are into literature pornography. It's very
That's
rare.
so funny. I'm reading this book called 1Q84, a Murakami book, and it's really interesting.
1Q84.
Yeah.
What is it about?
It's God, it's hard to explain. It's fiction, and it's kind of a spin. There's a lot of 1984, kind of like the author is truly a Orwell fan, and there's just kind of a lot of nuances as far as like this kind of, I don't want to say apocalyptic, but it's about a lot of confusing things, but technically it's a romance.
Mm-hmm.
But there's all this sort of, there's like kind of like two worlds colliding. There's sort of like there's two moons in the sky, and there's kind of this really interesting concept. But there's a lot of graphic sexual content, and Ben and I were sitting on a plane, and like he was like, "Jesus!"
Every time I look over, there's
Boning.
there's a boner going on. There's like a taut nipple. Like I just catch, and that's just this is an 800-page book, and every single time I glance over,
it's really
I see
funny
something.
because I'm not. It's really it's a really great story, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I'm not one that's like, yeah, I need a fucking dirty novel to, whatever, butter my scone. But I definitely.
Fucking interesting choice of analogies.
But I definitely, like, we've been traveling a lot. We've had a few flights for
Why
shows
scone?
recently, and when I'm reading,
look at it.
come on.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. That's what I'm saying.
So when I'm reading it in public and I'm sitting on an airplane, I feel like I pull the book closer to myself because I'm just like, oh my God, what if. It's just, it's such a...
Well, it's interesting that books
weird
can
thing.
have sexuality, like raw sexuality, mixed in with the story, but they can't have that in a movie. Like a movie can never have people
What about
graphically
that
fucking.
movie you just saw.
I just saw a movie of people graphically fucking. It was called Blue is the Warmest Color. It was a French. You know what I'm...
Yeah,
it's
I was
French?
talking about
Yeah.
this.
Oh, were you? Remember Brown Bunny? Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That guy is like blackballed because of that movie.
Is he really?
Yeah. What is his fucking name?
Vincent Gallo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally saw these people reviewing that movie. When, informally, they were talking about it, and they were like, "He's a piece of shit. He'll never work again."
Really?
Wow.
And all because he made that Chloe Sevigny.
Were they just having
girl.
dick envy,
She
or-
just sucked his dick on screen, and he came all over her on screen. Like you actually
Wow.
see him orgasm in the movie. But the movie is before that a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is just a sex scene in a movie where you actually get to see the sex, and they decided to just go for it.
Yeah.
So they decided to make a movie and have. Why is it okay to have a sex scene where you don't see sex? But when you have a sex scene where you see sex, like they were angry at him because he made them watch that. Like that was, I was listening to this man and these two women talk about it, and their specific point was that they were angry that he made them watch that. He made them
They
watch
already
that
knew
scene.
that was going to... I mean, if they were watching the movie, everybody had to know that was
Well, everybody,
happening.
I
was
think
coming.
they were one of the
No
first
pun
people to see it, and I think everybody that went in to see that movie knew there was a controversial thing like that had gotten
Yeah.
out, but I don't think they realized you're going to watch Vincent Gallo literally put his dick in a girl's mouth, and it was a scene. It wasn't
Yeah.
like for a brief, like American Werewolf in London, you see the wolf, and then it cuts to black. No, this is like, it wasn't just you saw his dick and you saw her mouth and then cut, that might have been...
So
enough.
I guess,
lengthy.
do you think that? I mean, I didn't see the movie, so I don't really have the
I didn't
point of
either,
reference.
but I watched the one scene.
But I mean, do you think that was like,
Watched
hey,
the
I
important
want to
part.
do this just to do this, or do you think it was really a form of artistic expression?
I personally think it was a form of artistic expression that he also wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I think it's both.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what people got angry about with the idea is that, like, I'm looking... When I see a guy act really well, I'm looking at dick wagging already. You know? I mean, that's what you're doing
Me
by
too.
but in your expression. You know, in your expression of, you know, the powerful, the anger of your acting. I'm looking at your tears, you're screaming at someone. I'm also aware that you're awesome at doing that. And in me being aware that you're awesome in doing that, there's a certain amount of inherent dick wagging. It's one of the reasons why people have like an almost automatic distaste for some famous men or some powerful men or men that are in the public spotlight. It's because they know they have to be at least somewhat enamored of themselves, which is a form of dick wagging. So when you're doing that dick wagging and then you're also sticking your dick in Chloe Savage's mouth, I'm
Well
like,
said.
Jesus fucking Christ, man, you're double dick wagging. That's what you're doing. You're dick wagging because you're up there on the big screen and you're dick wagging
And you're
because you're
literally
standing
dick
there
wagging.
in these ridiculous fucking tailored weird clothes because you want to be interesting with your fucking handmade shoes. I just want to hit you. You know? Just want to
But you didn't see the movie.
I saw the scene. I don't really want to hit him. I probably would get along with that dude. I probably like him. You know,
You should bring him
I
on the
think he's
podcast.
probably a freak.
You should totally bring him
Yeah.
on the podcast. That's really interesting.
Well, he wasn't around for a while, and then he did a vodka commercial. There was a vodka commercial that he was a part of some big vodka campaign. But I don't know, like, what kind of films he's been in since then. But I do know that there was, from my limited amount of experience in show business, because I kind of, when I started doing Fear Factor, I basically divorced myself almost entirely of the acting world.
Sure.
You know, I was only in it for like 5 years when I was doing news radio, and then when I started doing that, I was just out of that world. So I never hung out with those people, not around those people. But when I did, my limited interaction with people led me to think that they're probably, like, almost universally, people wanted him blackballed because of that movie.
Wow.
Like, it was
Well,
so
it definitely
common.
crosses
Pretty
the
threatening, I
boundary
guess.
of,
Yeah.
like, you know, if you have, like, when people have controversial sex scenes that come up, like, I
Yeah.
kind of remember Eyes Wide Shut. That's just what comes to mind. When that movie came out, people were like, oh my God, you know, there's some serious shit in there.
Yeah.
And then, you know, keep pushing the envelope. But I think, you know, an actual sex scene in a non quote unquote pornographic film, it's like all of a sudden all the filmmakers are like, oh, what the fuck? What, you know, why'd you totally, like, you
It's like
know,
cheating almost. You can do that,
It's
and,
like,
and now
yeah.
everybody's paying attention to it.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, it's not the formal kind of traditional sense of a sex scene. So I'm sure filmmakers would be a little bit perturbed. But I don't give a shit. That's just my take on it.
Apparently, Homeboy's still doing movies.
Good for him.
He did Buffalo 66 was a really interesting movie, too. Brown Bunny was in 2004, and he did a couple of movies since then. You know, here and there, like little parts and weird shit. That
Joe,
probably-
do you ever get movie offers or anything
Yeah.
like that these days?
Yeah, not good ones.
Okay.
But yeah, I have. They're never. It's never worth it because
Yeah.
it might, even if it was like one of them was a big movie, but it wasn't that much money, and I had to go somewhere for like a couple of weeks, and I was like,
Yeah.
you gotta pay me a lot of money, and it's got to be worth my while. It's got to be interesting for me to want to do it, or I got to know somebody in it that I'm gonna enjoy hanging out with.
Sure.
Like otherwise, like I'd rather just do a free podcast. It
Yeah.
sounds ridiculous. I'd rather do a set at the Ice House. Like at a
Yeah.
certain point in time, it's like, what do you want? Do you want a bunch of money, or do you want to do things that you enjoy doing? And the more you say, I want a bunch of money, the less you're going to do things you enjoy doing. And the more you say, I want to do things I enjoy doing, somehow or another, the more money you start making.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Ben, that's it. Let's do that.
You're already doing it.
Yeah.
money.
Actually, you know what? I'll be honest with you.
Please do.
It's been, you know, I think I'm always honest, actually. But hey,
that
Well,
honest?
please don't. Don't
great.
tell me that. Make it seem like it's a special moment.
No, we've had a really great year
It's the
so
same
far.
conversation I've been
As
having
far
with
as
everybody.
we've had a really great year so far. As far as shows that have been coming in, like we've had a few private gigs where those are really fruitful. You know, someone's like, literally, we actually this was amazing. We played a gig for a birthday party, but it was a very well set up. It was a 21st birthday party. This girl's 21 years old. But her father's a Microsoft exec. And they are fans of our band. And it was such a great opportunity to make new friends, but also, get paid well, which was actually really cool because that's helping us finish this record. And things like that kind of keep happening. We're getting these phone calls of like someone saying, hey, we have this festival. It's a small town festival, but we'd love to bring you in. And, it's all kind of working out, in a way that we're really grateful for because it's sort of like we've been doing this for 8 years, and it's nice to have those things when they come up and not have to have a side job right now.
Yeah, well, you guys are really fucking talented, and the world is very strange right now when it comes to music. It's just
Thanks,
the way to distribute things has gone topsy-turvy. The record
It's
companies
hard,
are
man.
whacked.
Yeah, that stuff. It's you just have to you have to do it on your own. And
The internet.
And the internet, we have you can do live shows. There's a thing called Stage It, and we've done a few of those, and we're actually going to do one soon. But touring, touring.
Yeah. Just you can't sell records anymore. It's not the same.
You can, but not like
it's not the same.
It's not the
Right.
same. No, it's not like. But we actually like when we went to Europe, we actually just got off the road at the end of last year. We opened up for a guy named Jake Bug. And,
Fuck Jake Bug.
and
I'm tired of his bullshit.
It was you can't bite the hand that man.
I'm totally kidding. I don't even know who Jake Bug is.
It was amazing.
I just felt like saying that.
No, he's like a British rock sensation.
Oh, cool.
And he took us overseas with him, and it was amazing. It was really hard. Like we got our asses handed to us in the UK. That
What do you
was,
mean?
Rowdy
huge
crowds, and we
crowd.
played as a duo.
A
In front of like
duo?
6,000 people instead
Oh,
of like
yeah.
a full. Like when we play as a full
yeah.
band, you get like drums and bass, and it's like, But
Rowdy
we were
crowds,
low.
man.
But
England
I'll
has a
tell you
lot
what,
of crazy rowdy crowds
England was
too.
rough on us, but Europe was amazing. They were probably some of the best crowds we've ever had.
You guys have opened for quite a few famous people. Who else were you guys opening for?
We had
What did we do last? We did Sheryl Crow. We opened some
Yeah,
shows
that's
for
what I was
her.
talking about. What was that
Ryan
like?
Bingham.
It was great, man.
What does she like to hang out with?
She's super sweet.
Yeah,
she
she's
just
amazing.
kept
Yeah?
everything she did. She did have these like little speeches during her set.
Oh, God.
talking about how she needed to. We had a Kickstarter at the time.
She's so sweet.
I don't think she really
She
understood
gave
the concept
speeches
of it.
to get you guys some money at your
What-
Kickstarter?
Yeah, but she'd say things like "Vote for Honey, Honey." You're like, that's not. It's not a. It's not,
She was so
campaign
goddamn
is a
sweet.
different
Oh,
sense.
that's
The
so
internet.
cool, though.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
she was amazing.
She's got a beautiful voice, man.
Yeah, and she's a beautiful woman. Like, she's really.
And she's like an empire
Do a
builder
great
too.
job.
That's what it's so cool to see the people in her position who figured out, okay, I've had a successful music career, but I can just branch out now. And
Right.
create this whole universe of Sheryl Crow.
Right. Yeah, I enjoy her music, man. I one time I was in my car and my friend Eddie was in the car with me, and he asked me if I could give his girlfriend a ride somewhere. So she hopped in the car, and Sheryl Crow was playing, and it was like, "Is this a joke? Like, you playing this as a joke?" And I'm like, "I like Sheryl Crow." And he's like, "No, you don't like Sheryl Crow." It became like an argument with her and I whether or not I like Sheryl Crow. You're being ironic. Like, you're being ironic. I go, "No, my favorite mistake is like a great fucking
such a
song.
great song.
It's a beautiful song." She's
a
like, "No,
beautiful record."
you're like a monkey. Like you're like 8." Well, she's like mocking me. It was all in just fun. It was in good fun. She's like, "Shouldn't you be listening to like death metal or something, or something with a Confederate flag attached to it?"
Rage Against the Machine. You seem
From
more
doing
like a
this
rage
stuff,
guy.
That
no, from
too.
doing your show, we have all these dudes come out. I know we've told you this
Yeah,
before. I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
These dudes come out tatted up, 6'5", and we'll be playing a
And they're
ballad
fucking
and just
awesome.
be like, honey, screaming before the shows during the ballads. It's amazing.
Well, we
They
have
know,
the
like,
nicest
oh
fans
man, they're
ever.
the best.
Yeah.
They're the best, and everyone always asks about you. Like, what's he like? And I'm like,
Yeah.
he's fucking awesome. He gives great hugs. He's really good at pool. I'm gonna tell him that now.
When we guys is that a word? Can you say that? When we
sense.
did that show together, the December
so much
21st,
fun,
2012
man.
show, that was fun as shit. That was the first and only time I've ever done a show like that where it was Doug Stanhope, Joey Diaz, you guys.
Let's do another one.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm in. Let's
much
do
fun.
it. I'm totally down. We could totally do that again. That
take
was
over.
really fun.
Yeah.
It was really interesting
Let's do it
too.
in Nashville. Weird people out.
What's that? Do it in
Nashville.
Nashville?
Yeah.
I kind of. I have a friend who has a club in Nashville. I'm in town. I do his club. It's
Zanies?
sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
He
is fun.
supports comedy. It's like these
There's not a big
small
scene there.
clubs. There's a weird thing with me with certain small clubs. I kind of have to do them. I just have to support them, and that's one of them. There's like not a lot of comedy out there. I feel like he's an island in the and I know he gets good acts there on a regular basis, but I always feel the need. Like the Ice House is another one. Like I would never do a theater in Pasadena. It's never going to happen. Yeah. If I'm in Pasadena, I do the Ice House just because the owner is my friend and he supports comedy.
Loyalty. That's fucking awesome.
Well, it's that. It's also, I don't need to do anything else. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like a desperate moment where if I don't do the theater, my kid's going to be hungry. You know, so.
Dude, you were on fire. That End of the World show was amazing. There was something magical happening that night.
It's pretty fun.
It was fun. And Doug Stanhope, what a guy.
He's awesome.
And Joey.
And Joey Diaz is awesome, too. That show couldn't have been more fun. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful show. The audience was so nice, too. They were so fun. And they enjoyed it so much. It was just so cool. You know, that's the one most surprising thing about all this is not just the connection to all these people that we've sort of like somehow or another fostered, but how nice they are. Like when we do shows, I did a show the other day in Chicago, and after the show, I took pictures with people for 2 hours.
Wow.
We went outside, and I said, anybody wants to take a picture? I said, I'll be here until the last one you leave.
Great.
I stood behind a table, and I said, this is what we're going to do. I'll do 5 minutes on this side, 5 minutes in the middle, and then 5 minutes on that side, and then we'll keep switching. And we just went every 5 minutes, and I set my timer on my phone. And at 5 minutes, I'd be all right, I'm moving, and I'd go do this side.
Dude, that's incredible.
Like it was just a swarm of people around these tables.
Good for you.
What my point was for 2 hours, nobody was a dick. Not one person. Everyone was cool as fuck. Not
Why
one
would they
person.
Be a dick, though?
This is actually Dallas. I did it in Chicago too, but the most recent one was Dallas. But it was just no one at all. Like nothing. Not one person. No one tried to cut in line. No one was a shithead. No one
meant a dick to you. I'm like, why would
to
they be
anybody.
a dick to you?
Well, we've seen a little bit of that. You see people, not even with us necessarily, we tour with other acts, and people at the merch booth get aggressive with whoever's signing, say, hey, this is what I want. Basically, you owe this to me, that kind of mentality.
It does happen. I think I don't know, because I'm trying to figure out how this happened. You know, because it never happened to me before. Like before the podcast and before, social media. Essentially, when I was dealing with people, I was dealing with people that knew me from something else. They knew me from Fear Factor, or they knew me from the UFC, or they knew me from news radio, or they knew me from comedy. Those were the options. It wasn't they knew me. Like these people just all know me. It's weird. It's totally different. Yeah. It's like they say hi like they know me. Like, dude, what's up? And I'm like, what's up? What's going on? It's very strange.
But they know they do. I mean, you get to reveal these really amazing parts of yourself and your mind on your podcast, and I think that's such a great thing about what you're doing and what most podcasts, if they're good ones, you create good conversation, you create real situations of conversation, and people get to witness that, and that's so cool.
Well, they also get to be a part of it, because they get to see the whole thing. Like one of the things I like about this podcast, we don't like edit it. It goes out live. It's all, it is what it is. And because of that, you kind of get to see who everybody really is. If it was really produced and there was all these fast edits and there was all this, really pre-planned segments, and it would feel less like you were really there. You might enjoy it still, but you wouldn't feel like you know the people that well.
Yeah.
And people that are stuck in some shit spot, wherever the fuck you are, if you're in Bangor, Maine, or not to besmirch Bangor, it's a fine community. But if you're anywhere,
nice word.
If you're in some weird spot and you don't have a lot of cool people around you, you could listen to Honey Talk. You can listen to Adam Carolla. You could, there's a bunch of people that you're going to get to listen to the way they think. And I know for a fact that I have part of who I am has been formed by listening to people far smarter and more experienced in my self-talk, and that their thoughts shaped my reality. And so to be able to introduce other people to the thoughts and ideas that have shaped my reality, my thoughts and ideas that I've gotten from those thoughts and ideas, and other people's thoughts and ideas that continue to shape my reality. It's not just me putting on a show. It's me being a part of it, and the audience be a part of it too. Everyone's a part of it. It's
I'll tell you what. I think that it's an incredible thing that you're doing that and you're continuing to do that, because if the majority of people are watching bullshit reality shows, where they're scripted and staged and they're supposed to be these candid examples of really asinine shit. It really annoys me, like Real Housewives. And it's like trying to make something like, oh, you're wearing the same dress as me or whatever the fuck be important, and I'm going to fight you. I don't even know. I don't watch that shit because I think it's bad for you.
Right.
I think that it lowers your vibration. You know what I mean? Like, and when you're doing what you're doing, which is being. I think you're brilliant. I'm not trying to be weird, but you have this incredible mind, and you share it with people, and lots of different people, and you have these situations. It's really great to listen to, and you're right. People learn from it.
Well, I'm definitely not brilliant, but what I am is curious, and I have a lot of free time,
sure.
and so
Call
I
it
just
what you
keep thinking about shit because I have the ability to do so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people were like born to do anything in life. I don't know if anybody was born to do anything in life, but I think for sure if you follow your passion, you feel like you were born to do this. For sure, if you actually do what you enjoy out of life. And there was some really weak-ass article that somebody posted the other day that I'm sick and tired of rich people saying to follow your passion. It was hilariously stupid. Whatever dumbass wrote it, he actually had to change the title the next day because of a barrage of hate that he got from it. But it was about Richard Branson and a bunch of people saying follow your passion. And he was saying essentially that most people shouldn't follow their passion. And in fact, they should keep their passion as a hobby. Yeah. You know why? Because he's a weak bitch. He's a weak bitch, and he's worried that he possibly wasted his life writing shitty articles like this. And in fact, he did. And he was also talking about how, fortunate he is personally to do what he does, but all these self-deprecating throws to poverty in it and all this nonsense in it. Essentially what he's doing was he was writing a thing that was downplaying greatness and inspiration. And when someone says follow your passion, if anybody that says don't do that is a fucking idiot. Because here's the thing. If you love making guitars, okay, and you just love guitars, you love making guitars, and you say, God, I would love to make guitars for a living. Someone fucking does that, okay? There's a guy out there, and he gets up every morning, and he makes fucking guitars. And if that's what he loves to do, that guy loves life. We're not talking about breathing underwater, fuckface. We're not talking about flying to the moon with a fucking rubber band. We're talking about making guitars. If your passion is making guitars, and you read that asshole's article where it says don't follow your passion, fuck you, stupid. Fuck you, you weak dummy, you fucking disease of ideas. You're a disease idea. That's what you are. You're a rotten little weak man with poor hormones. And you can't figure out that your passion doesn't necessarily mean rich. Like, I'm so tired of rich people saying follow your passion. Shut the fuck up. What difference does it make if they're rich? Everyone should say follow your passion. That's how buildings got made. That's why airplanes were invented. That's why you could watch fucking television, because someone followed their passion. What happens when you read Lord of the Rings? You're reading someone's passion. You're wearing clothes. You're wearing passion. You're listening to music. You're listening to passion. I'm reading your stupid fucking article. Your lack of passion is your passion. Your lack of following your passion is what you're so passionate about portraying. Shut up, dummy.
Amen.
Shut up.
God,
Amen.
I'm going to hold you down and butter your scone, you fuckhead.
Oh, no!
It's too late. They got you.
Who did it? Did you do that?
No, who's the name? What's the name of the... give it-
Diego Peru 420.
Powerful Diego Peru 420. And fuck you, dummy, follow your passion guy. Again.
No.
Honey's following their passion.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
I get the feeling.
And I don't really
this.
mean that guy. I just point out, like, if that guy listens to this, like, Joe Rogan hates me, he besmirched me. I don't really hate that guy at all. I would advise against further communications in that sort of thing.
Well, don't be a naysayer. You know what I mean? Let somebody have their fucking moment. Let somebody fail if they're going to fail or succeed. You know,
I understand his point.
Though.
I truly understand his point. But what I mean, but all of his, I was talking, one of the things that Richard Branson said, you should have a couch in your kitchen. And this guy was like taking issue with if your kitchen is big enough to have a couch in it. Like, stop. That doesn't mean you're rich. A lot of people can get a fucking couch in their kitchen. Gee, shut the fuck up. I hate that real obvious pandering. Like, I can't afford to have a couch in my kitchen. My kitchen's not big enough. Like, well... fucking whatever, dude. You're talking nonsense. There's a better message than that. It's not It's not don't follow your passions. It's not you're better off keeping your passions as your hobby. That is absolutely ridiculous. And the only person that would say that,
any choice in life, that doesn't make any sense.
The only person that would say that is a person who hasn't followed their passions and doesn't make a living off of it. Because if you could make a living off of it, I do not work. I don't work. I don't have any jobs. Even my jobs are not jobs. And I'm not the only one. I know people that make pool cues. My friend Eric, he makes pool cues. He makes beautiful pool cues. He doesn't work. I mean, he makes pool cues. He loves it. He makes them for free and gives them out to people sometimes because he loves doing it. He loves wood. He loves creating things, construct. He started doing it while he was in the military. He did it as a hobby, just for fun, because he loves doing it. You know, and so when he's making money doing it, he's not really working. What he's doing is following his passion. And if you could figure out a way to do that for money, God damn it, why would you ever try to encourage someone to not do that? That's so crazy.
Well, it's even what we were talking about before. If you just start doing it, eventually the money's going to reveal itself.
Hopefully.
It's gonna, the support. Maybe it's not, your whole lifestyle is being provided for, but you can do something with it.
Yeah, hopefully. Unless you, make weird shit like custom badminton rackets that nobody wants to buy.
Toothpick teepees or something.
Yeah, you get rid of some.
That's your passion.
Yeah, some days it's going to catch on.
People sell weird shit.
People do sell
They
weird
do.
shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And sometimes weird shit's worth a lot of money. Like I saw something, it was a Fabergé egg that someone found in a garage sale or something like that, and it was worth like $10 million.
No,
Did you see that?
No.
Pull that article up. Fabergé egg found. They were trying to collect scrap. But I looked at it. I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't give you $1 for that. If you had that in my house, I'd fucking push it out the door.
Recently,
you tried to leave that in the house, I would like, no, you can't leave this here.
No, it's so funny. Recently, I saw this article on Beanie Babies, and it was worth $10,000 and I was like, holy shit!
Here it is.
My grandmother sent us all these Beanie Babies. Oh wow!
Look at that Fabergé egg,
20 mil.
worth up to $20 million, found by scrap metal dealer.
What are you going to do with it?
How is that worth $20 million?
I would put that in my bathroom.
That is so dumb. The idea that that's worth $20 million.
It's so silly, but you got to let somebody have their passion. If that Fabergé egg, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Booty traps.
I mean, I guess maybe it's really beautiful up close.
So recently, I saw this article on Beanie Babies, and there's a collection in my parents' basement given to us by my grandparents when we were kids. My grandma would send us the Princess Diana Beanie Baby, and we have there's 100 of them. And so I was like, Ma, I'm going to go in the basement. I think I'm going to make some money. And I was looking up all this shit, hoping I could sell something on eBay because they were going for $15,000.
What?
People would buy one.
God.
But it had to be it was really weird. It had to be there would be a technical flaw on the tag, and somebody out there would pay $15,000 for whatever. It's so weird.
Oh, because it was really rare?
Yeah,
the
I didn't
tag
come
flaw?
up with anything good. I was really bummed. But I was downstairs in the basement for an hour and a half trying to come up with something.
So the ones that you found, what do you think they were
I'm a
worth?
hustler. The ones that nothing. Maybe $10.
Oh.
Yeah.
$10 of 15
You know
grand.
what?
They're
The
the same.
sentimental value of my grandmother, Florence
price
Sanasuso,
on that.
is amazing.
I see. I understand.
Yeah, she's great.
It is weird how things become super worth money. It's very, very expensive, and it doesn't make sense. I saw a watch, and it was $500,000. And apparently it's this amazing hand-built watch. But it wasn't covered in diamonds or anything like that. It was just this amazing handcrafted watch. But it's still just a watch.
Yeah.
Just because it's handcrafted, if someone gave you a handcrafted spoon, how much more would that be worth than a regular spoon?
It depends. Was the handcrafted spoon made by Jimi Hendrix?
Okay, that's a good point.
Then fuck yeah, I'd be pumped about that spoon.
I'd pay a few grand for a handcrafted spoon made by Jimi Hendrix.
I would never eat soup without that spoon.
Yeah, that would be your spoon. And you'd be
use
mad
it.
if
I
somebody
like that
bit
you would
it.
use
I'd wear
it,
that
though.
spoon around my neck.
Because I don't know, guitars. You find guitars for 200 grand, 250 grand. But most of the people that buy them don't play them. Yeah.
Two?
They're just
What?
glass
yeah.
boxes.
What?
Well, they're
For reals.
legendary. They're
For reals.
you can't. They're irreplaceable. There's
Wow.
What is it, a 55 gold top?
The 59 Les Paul
59
gold top
Les Paul.
is worth a ridiculous
Nerd.
amount of money. But
How
I don't
much?
know. I don't know. It depends. It always flexes, but you could probably sell one for $100 grand.
It's like that with old cars now. Mm-hmm. There's certain old Barracudas that are worth over $1 million. And it's just a Plymouth, a shitty old Plymouth. And the ones they want are the ones that are completely stock. Like no new wheels, no new tires, no new interior, everything stock, everything from the factory, little push button radio, and people will pay exorbitant
that's
amounts
passion.
of money.
Coming back to passion again.
There's the
you
guitar.
just have to find one person.
Yeah. Oh, it's a 58. Oh, is that say 59? I think I need
yeah.
glasses.
59 Les Paul.
Christ, I
You
can't
just
see
need
that.
one person
No, I
to
can,
give
but
enough
I
of
thought
a
it
shit
said
to say
58. But
that's worth
Yeah.
$100,000, and then it is.
losing
right?
it, guys.
That's true. It's like as
Yeah.
soon as it becomes a demand, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a weird thing, like especially if there's a finite amount. Like there's a finite amount of 1972 Volkswagens.
Yeah.
If you find a 1972 Volkswagen Bug, there's only a few of those that were ever made. You know, how many of them are there left? You know, if you get a pristine one, it becomes very
what's so
valuable.
interesting about that is that some people actually make a business out of just the taste-making, trend-setting in general. Like, they might not even be like a car maven, but they can be privy to the oncoming trend of, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes, totally
all of a
know
sudden
what you
everybody
mean.
wants those 79 or whatever you said Volkswagens.
Yeah.
And then you could just be like this trader, you know, this eBay middleman.
You don't mean traitor.
No,
you
no.
mean trader.
Trader.
Yeah.
Trader, like Trader
Yeah, this is a
Joe's.
sweet old Volkswagen.
a
My
1970.
buddy Jimmy Lawless used to have one of those when we were 18, piled around in this fucking little tiny
Was he
Volkswagen.
named Jimmy Lawless at 18?
Yeah, his name was Jimmy Lawless his
Did he
whole
get
life.
into a lot of
That's pretty
trouble?
hardcore.
No, Jimmy was a good dude. Yeah. Jimmy's
That's a badass name.
Yeah.
It is. I was always jealous.
We've recently come across some great names. I met somebody in England and his last name was Dragon.
Oh,
I'm like,
shit.
Do you wake up every morning just feeling like you're
Johnny
fucking
Dragon.
awesome?
We met a
Because that's
rocket,
cool.
too.
Rocket!
Yeah.
There was a
There was a
rocket.
rocket.
Well, my best friend's named Eddie Bravo. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That guy's
Eddie
pretty
Bravo's
cool.
a ridiculous name. People
Yeah.
didn't believe it's a real name. They're like, come on, son, that ain't your name.
Oh, man.
That's his fucking name. Yeah, that's I was stuck with Joe Rogan. It's very boring. There's
No,
nothing
it's a
there.
great name.
That's all right now.
I mean, it's
I made something out
a lot
of
of
it.
people
It's
know
not
it.
much. It's easy to spell.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's the baddest motherfucker of all time because they came up to him and they told him, "You got to change that shit." And he's like, "I don't think so.
I changed my
like
name.
it.
It's got a
I
ring
keep
to
it.
it.
I shortened my last name,
What is the original?
Santa Suso.
Damn, that's even better.
Oh man,
I think when you go solo.
it's well, you know, it's
Sorry.
a little, yeah.
Hey, you know
Sorry,
what?
dude. I'm sorry.
Only a matter of time.
Come on, dude. Why are you trying to drive a wedge in the band?
A
honey?
wedge.
Who's a
in
bigger
between.
honey supporter than me? I love the both of you guys
You're
together.
right,
Don't
you're
listen
right,
fucking.
you're
I'm
right.
bullshitting. I just can't help it. I can't help it. I have bad instincts.
Oh
My
man,
comedian instincts. And I always say something fucked up.
Destroy.
I fight them
Destroy.
all day. I fight them all fucking day.
you know what? We've weathered the storms over the years. It's been rough.
I'm
It's
sure.
been fucking rough.
Well, you
But-
guys get along remarkably well. You know, one of the things
At
I
times.
really enjoy about hanging out with you guys is how, look, no one gets along 100% of the time. It just doesn't
yeah,
work.
we have
There's
some
no
real bad
human
days.
beings. Whether it's mother and son, whether it's father and daughter, whether it's brothers and sisters, whether it's friends and neighbors, no one gets along 100% of the time. There's going to be bumps. But you guys you have a great energy about you. Like, you guys
Thanks,
are
man.
friends. You guys are co-creators. You're collaborators, and you know, you have a very unique bond because of that. And it's interesting to pal around with you guys, to like to go to dinner with you and hang out with you, because your bond is it's unique, but it's also very pure. And that sounds gross to say that. I hate
No,
hate
well, we
my
figured
own
out
words.
how to fight. I think pretty early on. Honestly.
You figured out how to fight,
How to
and
fight
then
with each other and not have it
not hurt each other.
destroy it. Well, I don't know. That.
yeah.
But
Well, you don't insult each other. That's, you know, I had a friend. We were having this conversation a while back. He was talking about his wife, and he's like, you know, everything's fine, but man, when we fight, we both go for the jugular right away. And I go, like,
That's
what do you?
tough.
Yeah, and I go, what do you mean go for the jugular? And he goes, well, you know, we know the one thing that really
Yeah.
fucks with each other, so we automatically go to that. And I go, okay, who's the first person that's doing that? You know, I don't want to say who it was.
You know what? I think in any situation where you're introduced to conflict, depending, like, sometimes you want to fight. You know, it's like you can be quick with your words, you know, whatever, and say mean shit, but that's kind of pointless. You know, at the end of the day, usually you're fighting, depending on who you're fighting with, but like it's your loved ones, at least in my disposition, and I love them. I don't want to hurt them. So when you approach a confrontation. In my opinion, this is something actually I really learned a lot. My relationship with Ben in this band has made my other relationships in my life so much better because we had because we have to fight so hard for sometimes, not all the time, for this union for our project and what we care about so much. And so you have to be a good listener and you have to be humble and you have to put your fucking foot in your mouth sometimes. And when I approach a confrontation with my sister or my mom, and my family and I, we love each other. We love each other so much. We fight hard, and it sucks and it's painful.
What do you mean? You guys you fight, get angry at each other?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but stuff happens.
Have a couple more drinks.
What's your DPD?
Easy, Rogan. You fucking watch yourself. But the point is that if you approach any conflict or confrontation, literally, and I'm not trying to be weird, with love, and you're like, I love this person, and you listen, I think more often than not, you can really come to a resolve or just a better understanding of that person. You will continue to learn more about people in your life. It's not like you have this all-encompassing knowledge of somebody,
Well, and that's the useful side of fighting, too, because then we're hammering shit out that makes us not get along. Maybe we'll get along more in the future.
Right.
Instead of just
figure out what it's been. Maybe there's been something that
unless
you've been
you
doing.
like to fight, which sucks, and
well,
I
then
don't.
you need to get away from those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend once that really liked to fight.
That
and
sucks.
Well, it's all right.
Sure,
I got
you had
rid
great
of her.
sex, though. Sorry.
She was a crazy bitch. She liked to fuck. But there was one moment where we're heading out to some party, and I guess she was stressed out or something like that. So she yelled at me out of nowhere, and I just, this is the first time she ever yelled at me. And I go, hey, listen, I go, we can't talk like this. You can't have this conversation with me like this. I go, you're not allowed to yell at me. I go, none of my friends yell at me. No one yells at me. I don't yell at them either. I go, if you're my friend, I go, why would you yell at me? You would only yell at me is if you're more concerned with it just exploding, throwing up your own energy than you are with the repercussions it's going to have on the people around you. That's an ultimately very selfish thing to do. And I go, we can't ever talk like that. And she just immediately deflated. All of her anger went away. It was a very weird moment, and we just sat down and we had a conversation.
Did you say it kind of in that tone?
Exactly in that tone.
Yeah, the tone is everything.
That's pretty powerful, man.
Tone is powerful.
Do that,
well, it was pretty
Control
powerful,
yourself?
but she couldn't help herself. She was, I don't know what it was. It was something in her childhood because we wound up staying friends, but we broke up, and then she started dating some new guy, and she calls me up, and she's really frustrated. She's really frustrated because she can't keep yelling at this. She can't keep from yelling at this guy. She keeps yelling at him, and she doesn't know what to do. She's like, I yell at him, and he takes it, and I fucking keep yelling at him, and I don't know what to do. I just get... I can't. He lets me bully him, so I start fucking bullying him, and she goes, and I can't even stop myself.
If you grow up with that, with yelling, and it's really funny. My mom is awesome, but I grew up with a lot of yelling. My mom yelled a lot, and I was bad. But this is kind of hysterical. We had a family bird. It was a boy, but his name was Abby, and he was an African gray. And they're really smart. They're really fucking smart animals. And they repeat a lot of things. And literally, the bird, my sisters, I grew up with Carla and Jody. The bird would go, Carla, Jody. And then it would go, Suzanne, get up, get up. And it would have this total, this slur of screaming words that you couldn't understand, but it was pretty accurate. Because I got yelled at a lot, and my mom would yell at me. And so it was always this reminder, when I would walk in the room, that sometimes the bird would be like, Suzanne, you fucking dumb cunt. God, my mom never called me a cunt. That would be horrible.
Could you
That would
imagine?
be a really
She
bad
meant
thing.
it, though. Whatever the fucking
fought
noise she
a lot.
made, it's the same thing as calling you a cunt.
But it's funny, we love each other so much, but we fought a lot. Good Lord.
Oh, that's rough.
But yeah, yelling is a difficult thing to, as an adult now. It's it's really funny. Ben and we have
I went
to.
the other way. My mom, she would just freeze me out.
Yeah.
So I just go into deep silence.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better if someone has enough caring for you that they yell at you and fight with you. You work it out. Everybody gets tired at the end of working it out.
Yeah.
But this girl, she wasn't a bad person. And growing up later and becoming a dad, I kind of really feel for her because I think that what happened with this girl was she was just programmed in a really shitty way by dummies. And she grew up in Florida, and there were a bunch of dummies around her. And
Serial capital of the United States.
Serial killer capital? Yeah, not cereal. Like, a lot of Cocoa Pops there.
God, those Golden
Captain
Grams
Crunch
are just
by the fucking warehouse.
Delicious.
It's, I think that's a lot of who we are. It's like how we were programmed when we were young. And this girl, she wasn't a bad person. She was just battling with her programming as she was trying to be an actress, which fucking good luck with all that.
It's really funny. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was just going to say, isn't that what the neuroplasticity concept is? Though you can change that stuff.
You can, but neuroplasticity is all nice and good. But if you're that fucked up, I recommend MDMA. I don't think that neuroplasticity is really going to fucking get you to the dance.
But what does that do? Just kind of blast it all?
Makes you feel. It makes you understand love in a weird, pure form. And people could say it's a drug, but that drug, by the way, exists in everyone's brain right now as we speak. What you're dealing with dopamine and MDMA is elevated dopamine levels, elevated feelings of love and passion and connection to each other. It's just, somebody sent me this video. It's really kind of interesting. You probably find it, Brian. It's Joe Rogan talks indirectly about rave culture. And it was me talking about about setting up some sort of psychedelic community, and that it would be incredibly beneficial to people to set up communities where we could figure out how to meet and everybody take something that would tune us all into this sort of frequency of love. And so someone took me talking about that and connected it to raves, where if you look up at that screen, like anytime you're seeing a rave like this, 99.9% of those people are on ecstasy. You're looking at 15,000 people that are in this huge football arena, and they're dancing around and touching each other and having a great fucking time. Why are they having such a great time? How come they can get together and smush up like that and no one's a dick? I'll tell you why. Because they're all on ecstasy. And when I say 99.999, there's that point whatever. Those people are assholes. They shouldn't be at the...
But not necessarily... Can I be honest with you? I think that also... I read this book on collective joy. And it's really interesting because... back to our primitive tribal selves, when there would be rain dances and the tribes would dance and they would all move together, there would be this collective sort of consciousness that people would have coalescing between them. And I recently have reconnected with dancing. I went to a party and there was a DJ, and I had a couple drinks, whatever, but I wasn't on drugs at the time. And I'm rarely, but let's get into that later. But the dancing, the movement with the sound is a powerful thing. Drugs are no drugs. And I think there's something really interesting about it as far as a collective, group of people.
Well, that's
in harmony,
As a comedian, that's what I essentially do for a living. As a comedian, what you're doing is connecting all these minds together in some sort of a harmonious tribal function. That's why the smaller the tribe, generally the better it works. Mm-hmm. But one of the weird things about this connection with the internet is that people are getting used to larger and larger numbers. We've had shows with 3,000 plus people, and it feels like it's intimate. It feels intimate, like everyone's tuned in. 3,000 people, and they're all tuned in. And I mean directly tuned in, responsible, like they feel like they're a part of what's going on. But when you really feel it more is when you could see everybody. Mm-hmm. When it's 300 people, it's I think the number. When you get above 300 people, things get squirrely. You can handle it if the people are the right people. But most of the time, you're better off with 300 people. But what you're essentially doing is you're conducting a tribal sort of a bonding moment. Everybody's experiencing the same vibe. Everybody's
well, you know what, though?
Moment in St. Paul.
Yeah?
We had a show last week in St. Paul. And every once in a while, we just get to play to a group of about 300 people. Being seated with our music helps. Because when we're a duo, it's not really rhythmically heavy. So you have a seated group of people, and they're just so willing and kind of vulnerable to us taking charge. And there's this energy that goes way beyond what we can do. And all of a sudden, it's a show between us and them, and they're putting in more than we are. And those experiences, they haven't happened as often as we'd like, but they seem to be happening more, and it's an amazing feeling. It's like it's kind of a weightlessness when you're performing. You don't have to think about it anymore.
Well, we all need the audience. You know, the audience is for you and for comedians. I think we need it in a different way, but it's similarly important. You know, an audience is there to like let you know that they're tuning in to all this work that you've done. They get all the things that you've said. They understand all the stuff that you've labored on and formed into these rhythmic sort of these pieces, you know, which is what a song really is.
Yeah.
And for comedians, it's not just like it's fucking 100% mandatory. Like you can't even write it without them. Like the writing changes when you're around them. When they become a part of it and their laughter, each crowd you perform in front of helps shape the material. It changes the material from week to week. You know, it's without those other people, without the involvement of the other people, it really doesn't even exist. It's weird.
Well, I never think about this show, but I was just thinking about American Idol when we're talking about this. It's like the
you
culture.
think about it every day, you fucking liar.
He's like, when is it going to be my time?
I never think about this show.
It's too.
Never.
I'm over the hill, man. No, but I think that it's like a competition culture, and I think that fucks it up.
Yeah.
I think that fucks it up a lot.
It helps the people that make it, but it doesn't because then the fucking money just lines up. What's that dude's name? Pockets. What's his name? Simon.
I don't
Simon's
think he
in a
does it
fucking.
anymore, does he?
But he's in a
He runs
giant
it all.
mansion on the top of the hills.
No, I feel like we
balling.
have talked about this before on the podcast, but it's important to bring up again. And I think things like the American Idol microwave mentality is really toxic to people. To have like this, all of this stuff happening. You know, you won this thing. It's like you won the lottery. The lottery is, more often than not, a really terrible thing for
Terrible
people.
thing, yeah.
And it's
Stupid people tax.
It's tough, being a musician and then seeing that. We've had several. It's really funny. We've had several invitations to be on these like competitive shows, and people are like, "We really want you to be a part of it." And it always just feels so wrong to me. It always feels like, you lose a lot to begin with. Like the people that are involved want to take all of your publishing and stuff like that and own you in a way, and that does kind of come back to what you were talking about before. Is like, we want you to sound like this and do this and sing this and fuck that, but at the same time, not to talk about us, but just the mentality of the princess, like the fairy tale is rough on people. I don't like it. Sorry.
I agree with you 1,000%, but that's not a real number. I really do. I think that I entered a contest once in Boston, the WBCN Comedy Riot. It was the only contest I ever entered. I lost in the finals.
I was like, did you fucking slay it?
No.
Damn it.
No, a nice guy won. Can't begrudge the gentleman who won. He was a very nice guy. But it was just like, it's the idea of it was so silly. It's like, how can you? I mean, I guess you can judge based on what's best for you. Like, what do you find the best? But you can't have a music contest where you have like a rap band and a country band and a rock band and a folk band. You can't, because there's no best. There's the best for you. All right. If it's me, it's very likely a rap band is never going to win. There's a few rappers, unless it's like Nas or something like that. There's a few rappers
Killer Mike.
who really
love Killer Mike.
who really connect with me, where I really feel like I appreciate what they're doing as an art form. Too much of it is just braggadocious nonsense,
A lot of hip hop's tough too, because it's just hard to hear what they're saying. Not to be like an old dude.
What?
That's kind of a lot what our new record is going to sound like.
I like it. Go with it.
Yeah, honey.
But it could be like some D. Antwoord songs, are fucking perfect.
I think you freaky and I like you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that shit.
And I like you a lot.
I love that crazy bitch.
What's it?
I
we
think
need
you're
to see some of
freaky.
these interviews with her, because apparently she just reams out everyone who interviews her.
Yeah,
that bitch
we
is
need
crazy.
to do that,
I'll have her on the
we need to put on this
podcast.
whole, tough exterior.
I'll tie that bitch up.
David Cho's friends with her. He hangs
Good,
out with them all the
perfect.
time.
Let's do it. Just make it
Jeez.
happen. Those guys signed a shirt from me. I got a T-shirt from them.
That's pretty dope.
They're badass.
That's really
I love.
cool. We saw them at
D. Antwoord.
Coachella,
Yeah.
or I saw them at Coachella before we played. And it
Yeah, they're gangster.
Insane.
They're pretty badass. But I mean, unless it's something like really unique like that, it's hard for me to get into too much rap because it's just not my tune. You know, whatever it is, it's not my frequency. I'm a big fan of the Black Keys. I'm a big fan of a band. I don't know if you guys heard of them. They're called Honey Honey.
What?
And they're probably one of my
Sounds
favorites.
pretty lame.
No,
Quiz.
it's
That band
not.
name is
It's
Pussy.
not lame. But if a lot of your friends are around and they're like football players or something like that, like don't play it in front of them. You know, they'll fuck
upcoming
you.
tours.
They'll wind up fuck you.
Hey guys,
Where are you guys at?
We're doing a little run in April.
I would like to offer you something right now, and you cannot say no. I would like to tweet all of your dates. Let me know anytime you're
Oh
anywhere.
man, thank you.
I'd be more than happy. I do it with everybody.
you.
Thank you, Joseph.
I do it with everybody, and no one gets annoyed. Everybody is happy about it because
Thank
they
you.
find out.
We
know,
always think
with
you're going to
Ari's
get annoyed, though.
here.
We get weird about it. We're like,
Yeah, we feel weird
"Don't
asking
bother
for
this
shit."
dude."
I don't get annoyed.
We just
I
wanna play pool and
appreciate
drink
that.
beers.
I barely drink. I appreciate that you guys feel weird, but it's no work at all for me, and I would probably feel weird if I was asking you. So don't feel
We'll
weird.
tweet for you anytime.
Well, how about we make a deal? You fucking tweet for me too. All right,
Done.
You tweet for me, I'll tweet for
Easily
you.
done.
Let's make it
Look at
happen.
this.
Okay, we made an agreement. So
Look,
all
it's
of your
on
dates,
tape, so we can't go
anytime
back on
you're
it.
anywhere, every time you are anywhere, unless I'm hunting in Alaska, which I will be doing soon. I'm going to the Brooks Range to fuck up a moose's day.
Oh my god.
That deer is delicious.
Do you know how to butcher it? What happens?
I know
Like,
the
at
whole
the moment
deal
What are you
of
gonna
killing,
wear?
What do you do?
That's all I'm doing, man. All I'm doing these
Loincloth.
days is fucking every day I do podcasts. Then I get home from podcasts, I shoot bows and arrows.
Oh my god.
I shot 150 arrows yesterday with a 90-pound bow. I'm not
Can
fucking
we come?
around.
I wanna go.
Fuck yeah,
That's-
bitch.
dude, I
Listen,
fucking love
both
that
of you guys
shit.
can come. We got to sing songs though and scare away the bears.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
They hate our shit.
Well,
which is
Steve
weird.
Ranella, who's the host of this show that I do called The Meat Eater, I've done his show twice, and I'm committing to doing it like 4 times a year. We go out and hunt. It's an amazing show. The guy's a brilliant author. He's incredibly well-read. Just a brilliant guy who also happens to be a really badass hunter who is really into what they call fair chase hunting. And the fair chase hunting is he won't hunt in a caged environment. He's not going to hunt. Even if it's 10,000 acres, if there's a fence up, he's not hunting there. You know, he will hunt wild land, you know, mostly public land, but it has to be a wild animal, you know. And one of the things that we're trying to figure out is something we could do together. My thought of what we can do together is take people who've never hunted before hunting, like Honey Honey.
Dude,
Bring
I'm
it
so
on.
down
Are
for
you
that.
down?
Fucking down.
Were you
Yeah,
down?
that sounds
Would you like to
amazing.
hunt something ugly and like that people aren't really into, like pigs first? Like it's a good one.
Wild boar?
Or
Yes.
we heard that there's some crazy. We have friends
I
who
love
live
bacon.
up in
I got a place.
Hollister. And these dudes, there's like a culture of dudes up there who go out knife hunting boars.
I'm not going to force you guys
interested
to
in
do that. I'm not interested in that either. I'm not interested in that
Okay,
either.
that's fine.
But there's a place called Tejon Ranch, and we have a relationship with them, and they're only an hour and a half north of
my
here.
God.
It's the biggest ranch in California, 270,000 acres.
Holy shit.
And they have 50,000 pigs.
Oh my god.
It's insane. They're infested with pigs.
So wait,
Like,
what is our weapon of choice? Are we bow and arrow or
No,
are we
no.
rifling?
It takes a long time to get good with a bow and arrow, like hundreds and hundreds
We're
of.
quick
I
learners,
am.
though,
You don't
Joe.
know how long
I
we've
have
been working on it.
I have a bow and arrow hunt scheduled for
I throw
June.
stars.
One of the reasons, dude, if you killed a fucking wild pig with a shooting star, you'd be my new hero.
I shoot
wouldn't
mine
suck
bullets.
your dick, but I'd let you lay it on my forehead and take a picture.
That's fine. That'd probably get me there, to be honest.
You must train.
But it's really hard to fucking.
This-
It's really hard to shoot a pig with a bow and arrow.
I'm sure.
With a throwing knife, it's virtually impossible. With a star, God damn it, you're talking fantasy. But with a rifle, we can get the job done. With a rifle, it's not hard at all.
We've shot some rifles.
You need a really good hunting rifle and a good guide, but this place, Tejon Ranch, is, like I said, an hour and a half north of L.A., and it's enormous. And it's all wild.
Oh, my
There's
God.
no fences. It's just a huge piece of property that
So
these
do you
animals
hunt at night?
congregate on. No, during the day.
Okay.
It's illegal to hunt at night.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
And
you
hard to
can't-
see, also.
I just thought I'd
Well, you
create
can
another
use
challenge.
in Texas.
Night vision? Did you go night vision?
In
on that
Texas,
shit?
they do.
That's crazy.
I've never actually hunted.
I've been thinking about it though, honestly,
Yeah.
because I started eating meat again, and I just realized, like, if I'm willing to take this shit shrink wrapped from a freezer in a store, I need to be okay with killing this.
Well, while we speak, I have a ham that's brining that I shot a couple of months ago.
Did you really?
I shot a pig. Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah,
Joe,
it's-
that's amazing.
At Tejon Ranch. I shot that
Wow.
deer too. That head right in front of you. This
Predator?
It's beautiful.
Oh.
I would put that on my wall.
It was slightly more beautiful when it was wandering around, but way more delicious after it's boned out.
What did you
Look at
bleach
the
it and
bone
do all that?
structure. on
No,
that
I
beauty.
brought it to a guy who does that professionally, and they take the brains out and bleach it down.
Wow.
You don't want to keep some stinky brains.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
You know how they do it? They use a type of bug that they use to clean off cadaver bones. It's called a superworm. I know
did
about
know
this because
that.
we actually fed it to people on Fear Factor.
I did know that. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
It's pretty dope. It takes a while too. They leave the skull with these superworms for quite a while, and they just go to work and they chew off every single ounce of flesh. You take the skull, you
How
put
long
it
does
into.
that take?
I don't know.
And what do
I
they
think
do
it
with
takes
the
a few
worms
weeks.
afterwards?
The worms eat.
No, but I mean, so then they have this.
They
skull
move on to the
that's
next
been
skull.
consumed. They just,
Then the next guy's got a fucking
So they have
moose
their
head
like
coming
their
guys.
in.
superworm
It's like-
A-team
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
there's
just
Steve.
goes from cadaver to cadaver.
Well, there's this thing that they do where you can get a head mounted after you shoot a deer, like a
Okay.
trophy. You can get it mounted, and they take it and they put like glass eyes in it, and they leave the skin on, and they do a taxidermy thing, which is a little odd, you know.
So
I
where
kinda
were you when
like
you shot this guy?
this guy? Which one? The
This guy right
I believe
here.
his name
Oh,
is
the Predator. That's a friend of mine's buddy. I got him tickets for the UFC. I wish I could remember his name off the top of my head. I want to say Steve, but he's a special effects guy. And the guy Pat McGee did the American Werewolf, who's that's out in the
Really frightens me.
the front area. Yeah.
So you're going to be going up against those in Alaska.
No, you know what? This show, Meat Eater, they know exactly what they're doing. They know where to go. You're always going to deal with bears, but you just have to make sure that you scare them off and you keep an eye on them. And there's a lot of guys with guns, and you don't want to hurt the bears, but you don't want the bears stealing your caribou. You got to be real careful. Well, it's not even fucking, what is that, 20 worst pieces of terrible taxidermy?
Yeah, there's like cross-sighted and bobcat.
Look at that puma. that puma came near me. Hello. Hey man, you know where the bus stop is?
Oh, that's awful. Oh man. And this is when I'm gonna-
that is weird.
Look at that cat.
That is weird.
Some people mix them together too. That's kind
Suzanne, when you get back, we're going to sing some songs.
Oh yeah, sure.
Look at that.
No.
That's a guy who shot the front legs out with a fucking missile. That is weird. Hey, guys! It's a weird thing. I would never shoot an animal just to make a trophy out of it. Never in a million years. But if I found an animal in my backyard and it was dangerous and I shot it and they said, "Do you want to make a trophy out of it?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah."
It's all about context.
That's that wolf. That wolf is ridiculous.
Hi guys, here for the party.
Do you know that there's a concern right now that wolves might eventually start to reemerge in Paris?
I've not heard that.
They're starting to make their way closer and closer towards Paris, and they're really worried right now that there might be a moment in the somewhat near future when wolves once again are in Paris.
How are they going to last?
Well, that's the crazy
get
thing,
mowed
man.
down.
They kill people. Wolves killed like 40 people in Paris in the 1400s.
Shit.
There's it's like
That's
a
real.
famous incident. Here, I'll pull it up right now. The Wolves of Paris.
Yeah, there's a few books about it also.
Yeah, it's fucking scary as
Is
shit.
that the
dude.
American? I mean, is that where American Werewolf in Paris comes from?
No. That's because the American Werewolf in London needed a sequel.
Look at this cover. Hi guys. Here.
That's a beautiful
Wee wee.
little cutie pie. And I love wolves. People are like, "Oh, you want to kill all the wolves?" I don't. I love wolves. Don't get me wrong. I love wolves out there being all wolfy. My problem is when wolves come anywhere near people I care about, I want them dead. I want that family dead.
Who's the shirtless dude?
Wolves in Paris.
The other guy's got a little tiny little coyote dick. He's trying to pass off as a wolf. Wolves of Paris. Is that his band or his book?
That's I think it's a cave book.
It's a book. It's a sequel to 50 Shades of Purple that comes out after 50 Shades of Grey. They run out of shit to talk about with colors, so they go with animals. Wolves of Paris. When I was in Paris, he had a wolf amulet on. He ball gagged me.
Tag team key time.
Yeah, so you missed a lot. In Paris, in 1450, 40 human beings were killed by wolves.
Jesus.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about
Werewolves?
wolves. No, regular
Get
wolves.
real. Okay.
There's an issue right now where wolves are getting closer and closer to Paris, and they're worried about wolves reemerging in Paris because they have very strict environmental.
Present day?
Yes.
Really?
They have very strict environmental rules as far as animals you're allowed to kill and not kill, and the wolves.
What kind of wolves?
Like the regular kind?
Like timber wolves or?
Well,
Okay.
there's really only one kind of wolf. I got explained that by this guy Steve Ranella that I do this hunting show with.
Okay.
Like pigs, there's only one kind of pig. Like when you talk about wild pigs, there is literally only one type of pig. Wild or domestic is the same thing. It's called suscrafa. That's the type of animal.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
But wolves, same thing. There's just wolves. Gray wolf, timber wolf. It's essentially like the difference between, human beings. There's human beings that live in Jamaica.
Sure.
There's human beings that live in Tennessee.
Different
They're-
colors, what have you.
But they're just human beings. That's
Bust
it.
sizes.
Exactly. They have bigger dicks. But wolves, that was one of the issues with wolves that were brought in from Canada. Because they brought in wolves to Canada and they repopulated Yellowstone.
Yeah. Really?
And a lot of other places. Did we play that, Jamie? We did play that. Wolves Change Rivers. Did we play that? Yeah, we did. There's a great documentary for those who have not seen it. It's called Wolves Change the Course of Rivers in Yellowstone, and it's amazing. And it's fascinating how just the reintroduction of wolves to Yellowstone National Park has actually changed the way the rivers flow. It's fucking incredible shit. I'm not anti-wolf. I'm not anti-anything. I am not anti... I talk shit, okay? I don't mean what I say. And people need to understand that.
I'm really
There's
happy
a lot
to know
of
that
shit.
the wolves are repopulating. 'Cause
I'm not. I hope they
I
die
think
in a fire.
Wolves are one of my spirit animal. Why
Cunty
not?
little shitty
are
dogs
beautiful.
that want to eat babies. You say that unless you were alone with a wolf.
I
And
am
that
a lone
motherf-
wolf. Don't you know?
You're like Chuck Norris and Lone Wolf McQuaid.
No, I have an affinity for like birds of prey and wolves and things like that.
Have you ever met an eagle in the wild?
No, but I fucking I
This
would
guy.
freak out. I love them so much.
What's so funny?
Have you ever met an eagle in the wild?
I can't wait till
many
the day.
times did you
I
say
know
that
it's going to
today?
happen one
You
day.
ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I have. I sure have. I will say no more.
An eagle in the wild is very different than an eagle that's in a zoo. That's what I'm saying.
I've
never
seen
seen
many
an
in
eagle
the
in a
wild.
zoo.
I've seen many, flying
Fucking
around.
Brian.
Growing up,
Mocking my words.
I have a lot of family in Minnesota, and we would
They
go.
don't have eagles in Minnesota.
Are you kidding me?
They call themselves eagles.
Come
They're
on,
like,
Rogan.
They're like gang members in fucking Irvine.
That's like
They're-
the eagle capital. I don't think it's the eagle capital. All right. Quit
I was in
eagle
Alaska
hating.
with Ari Shafir. We went salmon fishing. We saw a bunch of eagles. It was fucking freaky.
Big man.
Yeah. Did you call any to your arm, your outstretched arm?
Oh, there's none of that going on, dude. They'll eat your face. The only thing they're looking at you is like, can I carry this guy away? Too big. If you were a baby, they would fucking eat your asshole.
It's just awful.
Eagles are essentially dinosaurs that made it. That's all they are.
What do you think about
Shitty
the
fun.
Oculus Rift purchased by
Amazing.
Facebook? Isn't that great?
Amazing. I'm very fucking excited about that, actually. I'm just excited that there's more financial resources behind the process of Oculus Rift, or rather not the process, the technology.
Yeah.
I just hope that Facebook seems cool. It's like, one of the things that we were talking about recently was about that one I find very encouraging about this new tech money is that these guys, whether it's the Google people or the Facebook people, they seem ethical. They're making a shitload of money, but their intentions seem fairly pure.
Yeah, and it's gotten more serious just from this purchase, where before it was still kind of like not many people knew about it. Like my
Kinda
mom,
fringy.
Now it's everyone's going to know about this in a couple of years, so I think it's good.
I couldn't agree more. I love that fucking Zuckerberg fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I think he's beautiful. I'll give him a kiss right in the mouth if he's in the room.
You have a Facebook page, Joe?
I do. I have a fan page. I can't respond to emails, so please don't.
I just can't get into the habit.
Not to you.
of it.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying it to other people. Please don't, Ben. I'm tired of you fucking emailing me, dude.
Joe, what are you doing now?
Shut up.
What, are you hunting
There's
now?
no way. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
Let me show you my knife.
Is that a euphemism?
Do I have to
Let me show you my blade.
Show you my pocket
re-metaphor?
knife.
Why, it's shaped like an elephant's trunk. It's dull, but it'll cut your soul.
Effective, vaguely effective.
What are you guys going to play?
Oh, sorry. We're going to play a song called Big Man.
My Good Friends,
New
the
jam.
only band I've ever worked with, ever in real life. What are you going to play? Big Man?
What's happening with Big Man?
That's the song we're going to play.
Oh yeah, real life.
When
Well,
are you
the
going to play
only-
with us, Joe? When you play some drums, I feel like you could
I
get
can't
some
play the
drums,
drums.
together.
I want to just watch. Do too many things. Play any drums.
Super group. Bet you play mean skin flute.
Word.
Come on.
The penis.
Go for the obvious here.
Is this okay, guys?
Yeah. Hit
I'm
it.
gonna
Let it go.
Not wear these. Hey,
guess we don't
how's
need
that
to.
work?
Oh, boy. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, how they cried when the big man died. They spilled buckets out their eyes. Plain white faces and plain gray stones. He took that white cocaine up his nose. Sing for that big man, baby, down by the river and the railroad tracks. Baby ain't happy that he's gone. That won't bring him back to life now. When he went down, there was a trembling pool, and they came far and wide to the funeral. When the people showed up, they were broken willed. They drank all day and they popped pills. Sing for that big man, baby, down by the river and the railroad tracks. Baby ain't happy that he's gone, but that won't bring him back to life now. You can cry your head off, baby. Let it roll right off your bones. It's all part of some big plan, maybe. But no one should ever die alone. No one should ever die alone. Bones buried young, bones buried deep, bones that won't shake now lay to sleep. And he looks down, oh he looks up. He was a good man, that was enough. Sing for that big man, baby, down by the river and the railroad tracks. Baby
awesome. That's a beautiful song. Shit.
Thanks, man.
Is that one of the ones going to be in the new special?
That's
the idea.
Yeah, that's what
Do you
we're
have-
shooting for.
Do you guys have a name?
For the record.
For the record? No.
No?
Not yet, but
Good.
we're open to ideas. But, you know, can I be honest? We're really, we're working with a new dude this weekend. That's why we're here. And
A new producer? Dude?
Yeah, and we're
person?
really, really honored and excited that he really wants to work with us. And it's kind of sort of like a trial run. So fingers crossed, he's our guy.
Awesome.
Yeah. But it's fucking hard.
Listen, I know it is. You know, it's easy for me to say I know it's hard. You know, but I've watched you guys. You know, I know I at least I know from observing your struggle. And I have friends that are musicians, and I have friends, you know, like Everlast who's made it, and friends who are still struggling. And I know it's a crazy business.
It ain't easy.
You know, but you guys are talented as fuck. And I'll buy your shit all day.
Thanks, man.
You know, I'm honored to be friends with you guys, but if I wasn't friends with you guys, I would buy the fucking shit out of your music. I love it. I became a fan when I saw that Angel of Death acoustic version that you guys did on a roof somewhere.
Here in L.A.,
Yes.
back in the Disney.
Yeah. It's so cool that you can find someone like that. I can see you guys on
And
this
then we could
video.
connect.
Yeah, and then all of a
That's
sudden we're
crazy.
hanging. We're friends. It's awesome. We live in awesome times, man. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful that, and there was no middleman. We all made that happen together. You know, just great. It's fucking incredible.
Well, that's what's been happening more and more too, is being able to just talk to the people who are supporting us. It
Why don't we
changes
do a
everything.
Honey podcast? Why don't you guys start doing a podcast? Fuck yeah!
We got some gear, you know. We're like,
Talking to the mic.
Yeah, especially when you guys are on the road, you could just you
Yeah.
know, put two mics and do it in a hotel room or
Yeah.
car.
Like Suzanne, I saw that little thing you did where you're interviewing the cat. I saw that.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I saw
Dark
you
Knight.
interviewing the
That's my
cat.
little- that's my
That was
little
before we
homeboy.
ever
We got
met.
some ridiculous shit.
We used to do some fun stuff. We should fucking do that again.
Before we
just,
ever met, I saw that, and I was like, "These are like some really genuine people." I'm like, "You guys are cool," because I think there's a weird thing that everyone does, including me, I've met a lot of people that are on television, or a lot of people that are, you know, artists or, you know, musicians or actors or comedians or whatever. I met a lot of people with varied responses. It's like sometimes you meet them and they're like, you bummed out that you met them, and then sometimes you meet them and you're like, wow, these
You know,
people
I
are
feel that way too.
pretty fucking badass.
I get kind of squeamish when there's somebody I really, really like and I know I'm going to meet them.
Yeah.
Like with Cheryl, I was like, oh God, like,
Please
she turned
be
out to be
nice.
fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes you just have to like,
Yeah.
you have to sort of just accept, like sometimes the musicians or actors or whatever, you love their work and then they turn out to be a douche. You could still love their work. It's just, you know, you have to separate it, you know?
Yeah, and it's not saying that they have to be that way either. It's
Yeah.
just, it's also saying that if you meet a guy and they're just or a girl and they're just extraordinarily talented but incredibly troubled, you got to realize that there's like a balance going on with human beings.
Yeah.
There's this weird balance, and it doesn't always work out right.
You know what's interesting though? I think it's shifting a lot more. You know, you get people like Jimmy Fallon, who are these like, I love Jimmy Fallon. I think
He's a sweetie.
He's creating this realm of like joy, comedy, like brilliant shit.
Yeah.
You know, and like he's got this like great childhood, like this great family he loves. Like
Well, he
he's-
seems like a sweet guy too.
yeah,
he seems like
I think,
a nice guy.
I think there's room for that. You don't have to be fucked up to be an artist anymore. You know, and you never really did.
Are you calling Jimmy Fallon an artist? You got to slow the fucking horse
Yeah, are
down.
you
I'm
kidding
just
me?
kidding.
That guy's
I'm
the
kidding.
shit.
Of course he's an artist.
Nobody
I'm
does
fucking
a
with
better
you.
Neil Young impression
No.
than Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I also think that he's probably, he's probably one of the best talk show hosts ever.
He really
'Cause
cares. You can just tell.
He is a genuine guy. Like, there's this coming off of him. Like, he seems like a genuinely nice guy. And so is Jimmy Kimmel, by the
Yeah,
way.
love him.
Jimmy Kimmel is a genuinely nice guy. He's a sweetheart. Like, heard somebody said something about Jimmy Kimmel he was a dick to Rob Ford. You know, like, okay, come on, man. The guy's fucking the Toronto mayor, and he smokes crack. Like, you kind of, if you only have 7 minutes with that guy, I'm sorry, but we got to get down to business.
Yeah,
I can't allow you to fucking talk about your favorite football team for 6 minutes, and then, hey, what about that crack thing? You know, we got to get busy right away. And if it looks like I'm being a dick, I'm so sorry, but you smoke crack. You're the fucking mayor of Toronto, son. Come on, you got to give up a certain amount of decorum when you're addressing such issues.
Jimmy Kimmel, where he interviewed Jay Leno after the Night Show
Yeah,
swap
he
run.
was.
I thought that was incredible, man.
Well, you know what,
engaged
man?
him.
Jimmy Kimmel let Jay Leno know what the fuck is up. That's what he did.
Yeah,
He
you
said
got to hand it to somebody who's going to like have the balls to go to real town, you know?
My only problem with that is that Jay Leno was also being sort of, in a sense, enabled or thrust into that situation by the network. Because the network, why would the network change everything around if they didn't want to? I mean, like, why are you getting upset? Like, if Conan O'Brien went into that position and then all of a sudden the fucking show exploded and became this monster mega hit that everybody thought it would be, then there would be no discussion with Jay Leno to go back and take over the Tonight Show. So then there would be no discussion about falling back on his word or, like, you know, what did you say? It was all weird. It was, you know, in a little bit of a way, it's weird.
Awkward.
When you're dealing with those fucking weird sort of talk show host situations, you know, you're dealing with those weird, like the battle between, you know, this guy and that guy, and they're gonna, who's the best, and like that. Did you see that talk show war, the talk show war show with Letterman and Jay Leno, where it shows how Letterman and Jay Leno were like battling with each other, and Letterman always wanted to do
Back
the
to
Tonight Show.
competition.
Late
Why
night,
can't
I
we
think.
all
What was
be
it called,
friends?
Late
I
Night?
think it was called Late Night.
And Jay Leno hid in the closet and heard these NBC executives plotting against him while he was in the closet.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So, like, he knew, like, what to say to them. He knew how to fuck with them, like, to let them know. So they did, like, a bug sweep of the room to try to find the bug. He was hiding in the closet. It's hilarious, really. But it doesn't seem like that's the right way to do it, you know? And I like that what Jimmy Kimmel did was, like, stand up for another talk show host. And
just say the shit that everyone was thinking. So I just like it when that happens with public.
I just
But
love that he
you know what?
decided that
Like-
it was something that he wanted to do. I love that, you know, is so strongly, like, in support of Conan that he decided to, like, show solidarity, and in his interview with Jay Leno do that.
You use this word genuine a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the fucking nucleus of all this stuff, like of the podcast, of your genuine conversations and your genuine, you know, messages and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of interesting things happening, like Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, and
Yeah.
you get somebody who's not afraid to speak the truth. That's really powerful shit.
Well, both of them, Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, both. I think you have the sense that they like themselves, like they're happy with who they are. They're not, you know, they're not dissatisfied.
Everybody should.
Fuck yeah, everybody should, for sure. But, like, Jimmy Kimmel, like, when I took over the Man Show with Doug Stanhope, like, he could have been a total dick about that. Easily. He could have been rude. He could have made fun of us. And it didn't turn out well. It turned out to be a disaster. I didn't know that he had, like, a bad relationship with the people that were producing it. They had, like, real issues. Legal issues, issues over content, issues over ownership. There was a lot of bullshit that went down. Apparently, I don't know the real roots behind it, but I didn't know that. I thought these guys just didn't want to do it anymore, and now we could do it. And I didn't talk to them about it, but he was never a dick about it, not even a little bit. Like, he sent me an email, is very friendly about it. Like, the possibility to be a douchebag was there, and he would have been right. And he chose not to do it. He would have been right. But it wasn't, he would have even been a douchebag. It would just make it something that it wasn't. You know, and I've always respected that guy, but I respected him even more because of that. Because if I was in his position, I might make fun of me. You know, I might be shitty to me. And when I did his show, he was, like, super cool, like, after the fact. And I like, apologized to him for doing a shitty version of the Man Show. But there was no animosity. He's just a good guy. And, like, you can tell that somehow or another gets through the TV. It gets through the wires. It reaches you. You know, somehow or another it gets in there. And I don't know how much of that you can fake.
Yeah.
You know, you can fake something. You can fake a smidge here or there. But a genuine niceness like that Jimmy Fallon exudes, damn, I don't know if an asshole knows how to do that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know if an asshole knows how to hit that frequency. Did you guys see the video of them of U2 and Jimmy Fallon on the opening night?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh my God! Listen, it's one of the most transformative moments of my life over the last year was falling asleep on the couch. Whatever. I worked out, I had something to eat, and I was sitting on the couch. And a lot of times, I watched like bow hunting shows, or I watched MMA fights. I'm a fucking caveman. If you came over and looked at my DVR, you'd be like, "What the fuck is going on here?" I just like what I like. Okay, I'm not judging myself, but I fell asleep, and I woke up, and it was the premiere of the Jimmy Fallon first season. First episode of The Tonight Show. And as I woke up, U2 was singing the a cappella version of Ordinary Love, or acoustic version, rather, of Ordinary Love. And Jamie, pull it up.
Isn't that from the Frozen soundtrack?
U2 on Ha Ha Ha.
Is it, though?
No. Listen, it's a brilliant new song from U2. But it's not just that it's brilliant. It's one of those moments where you're watching in Bono, you're watching like just a fucking brilliant artist. Say what you want about that guy. You know, say what you want about his political ties and his charitable causes and his sunglasses indoors at night. Say what you want about that guy. That guy is a bad motherfucker. And whatever it is out there that makes things great, whatever it is where you're watching Pink singing while she's spiraling around over an audience and never losing tune and knowing that it's completely live, or whether it's Bono sitting on that fucking couch and U2 behind him playing, and Jimmy Fallon is sitting there and Will Smith is sitting there, and it's so undeniably brilliant that I woke up from a nap sitting on the couch woke up just in time for them to be joking around and then go into that song. Like the universe wanted me to see this.
That's crazy.
It's fucking perfect. It's a perfect moment of entertainment. It has perfect music. It has a perfect response. It has a perfect moment being the premiere of Jimmy Fallon's version of The Tonight Show. It has perfect being one of the greatest actors ever. Will Smith is sitting there. I mean, a huge fucking movie star. I mean, people who don't think he's a badass motherfucker have never seen him play Muhammad Ali. The audience is standing up and they're all on their feet screaming. There's not a guy with a sign, stand up, clap, applaud. Like if you go to those, if you go to Tonight Show's taping, at least the old ones, they used to have a guy would tell you when to applaud. There was signs would light up, or a guy would like hold up a sign.
That's crazy.
That was some beautiful shit, right?
That was amazing. And I love the Roots. You gotta
God
love the Roots.
damn, I love them. I love the band. I love Jimmy Fallon, but I love that moment. I'll never forget that. Sitting by myself, gym shorts, still sweaty, like staring at the TV, and it comes on, and I'm just like, God damn, I just saw something. I just saw a fucking shooting star. I saw an asteroid hit. I saw some freaky shit. You know, I mean, that's crazier than an asteroid. That's only happened once. Asteroids have hit the Earth many times. You know, I mean, how many times has there been a big hole slammed into in the earth because a rock fell from the sky? A lot. How many times has U2 been on the Jimmy Fallon show? Once. U2 was on the Jimmy Fallon show one time ever, and it was the first time. There's only one first time ever in the whole universe that U2 is going to be on the Jimmy Fallon show.
That's crazy. Unless
you believe in true infinity, and that's the monkey wrench. Because true infinity means if there is a you, that the world is what you see, everything exists in the exact same form, not only once, but infinitely. So not only are there so many possibilities in the concept of infinity meaning infinite possibilities. We can't even imagine what that means. Right. What that means is that everything that you've ever experienced, everything that I've ever experienced, you looking exactly like you looking exactly like you with the same creepy dude who tried to sneak you into the woods to see a fucking largemouth bass, all of that exists in the exact same order, in the exact same form, in an infinite number of times. So that's how crazy infinity is. Wrap your fucking head around that.
I'm trying to. I'm like, wait a second.
So somewhere out there,
So
there is.
playing
It's not just
the Jimmy
one
Fallon show right now.
right
again.
there. Not only that, U2 is playing. You're not supposed to say U2. It's like U2. I say it like U2. Shouldn't say it that way. But U2 right now is probably playing an infinite amount of times all over the universe, and at the exact same moment. At the exact same moment, the exact same words are coming out of the exact same mouth. That experience, everything that has ever happened, the idea of that
Like
never
there's someone
happening
that looks
again.
exactly like you on the other side of the world.
For sure. Not on the other side of the world, but on the other side of the universe. The idea of everything that has ever happened being unique in comparison to the creation of the world is so preposterous. The idea that we're so fucking important because we are capable of saying, capable of talking, capable of explaining how important we are. But the idea that we are any weirder than a black hole or a sun, I mean, it's ridiculous. So the idea of human civilization happening in the exact same order everywhere, we'd be like, how is that possible? But how would it be possible for there to be other planets? That's way crazier. And there's a fucking shit ton of those, dude. Yeah. How would it be possible that there's water in space? Oh, there's a lot of it. In fact, that's what you see when you see a comet, stupid. You're seeing water flying off the back of that thing. That's water. That's a fucking Earth-sized chunk of water flying through space. Holy shit. You know, yeah, the whole thing is nuts. It's not nuts that you don't exist not just once, but an infinite amount of times. That's more likely than a star. That's more likely than a black hole. That's more likely than just the idea of people breathing air and staying alive and fish sucking air out of water and some fucking weird contraption called gills. That's nuts. All of it's nuts. The fact that it exists the same place in the same form all over the universe in an infinite amount of times in exactly the same order, that seems like likely. If you think how nuts it is. That's why when you see a moment like U2 on the Jimmy Fallon show singing that song, like you're witnessing a universal, unique moment. Universal through everything, through the whole thing. Like that feeling you get when you get goosebumps, the whole universe got goosebumps for that.
Well, and it's interesting that you woke up for it. It's like you're in tune with that kind of thing.
No, I got lucky. I probably had a pee. I drank a lot of coconut water. I drank some of this delicious C2O coconut water. I probably had a pee. Most likely. But maybe not. I mean, I'm not convinced that reality's real. I'm not convinced you guys are even here.
We're not.
I mean, either.
No, we're not.
All this YouTube internet stuff is kind of a approximation of it, isn't it? Because now we just watched it again and we're experiencing it a different way, but that moment has been captured.
Yeah.
And that moment can now repeat itself in our controlled medium, right? So maybe this is us piecing together all these things that you're talking about.
I hope if you see it, the first time you see it, it's before I said anything about it to you. The last thing I want is to flavor that moment with some... my own, I think that was just a tremendous performance. If somebody sees it and you hear me talking about it, shut it off and go watch the real thing. Don't, if somebody puts it on YouTube,
we're going to be flavored by something. Might as well be flavored by Joe.
Oh, please. Maybe salt would be better. Salt and a little cumin.
Flavored by Joe.
It's really good for you.
Tamarind.
It's an anti-inflammatory.
Oh, God.
But, do you guys feel those moments on stage and realize that you're tapping into something unique when that happens, when you hit that we were talking about it when we were playing pool, like sometimes you just hit this weird stride where everything's just falling into place and it feels like automatic. Uh-huh. And that there's that moment, I'm sure it's got to be very similar to the moment like that in comedy with your music. There's got to be moments where you guys are just flowing. There's a moment, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but there was a moment where you were on stage and you were singing, and it was at the December 21st show, the 2012 End of the World show, and both Joey Diaz and Eddie Bravo came off stage, and they both at the same time go, "That's a badass bitch. That's a badass bitch. That's a badass bitch, Eddie Bravo. That's a badass bitch. God damn, those motherfuckers are talented." God, and Eddie's like, "That's a badass bitch. God damn, those guys are talented." But it was that moment where we had never done a show with a musical act before, and a lot of my friends were skeptical. They were like, "What are you guys gonna do? Like, how does that work together? How does it work?" I think the music probably shouldn't be in the middle because it would interrupt the flow of the comedy. But I think it would enhance the beginning of the comedy, and I think so we do it this way. And so when we did it, and you guys got on stage, it was the first time that Eddie had ever seen you guys live, and he was like, "Holy shit, they're good." He was like, the lyrics, the fucking the music, the choices they made. He just was like shaking his head. But I'll never forget that moment when they both walked off stage because they were both shaking their heads because Joey was going to go on stage next and do some stand up.
We got so lucky to be involved with this, man.
Well, honestly. We're lucky too. We're all lucky. We're lucky as shit. I wouldn't be, this show would be completely uninteresting if it was just me talking every week.
I disagree. I think you have a lot to say, and it's very interesting.
People they've heard it already. By now, I've run out of shit to say. I repeat myself. I don't even like listening to me anymore. But we're all lucky, for reals. Including people listening. We're all in on this in some fucking weird way. We're all in on this thing together. It's just that folks like you and I and Red Band and whoever's on the mic out there, you're a part of the lightning rod. You're part of the lightning rod that distributes all this shit. But we're all in it together. We don't even know what we're doing. We don't even know why we're doing it. We just start doing it, and then somewhere along the line we realize we love it. And the next thing you know, you're singing songs, or you're telling jokes, or you're fucking making guitars. Whatever it is, you find that thing.
Toothpick teepees.
Yeah, toothpick teepees. You find that weird thing out there in the world, whatever it is. And if you don't, goddamn, keep looking. Keep looking.
This is rousing,
yeah,
man.
I feel
Holy
like
shit.
I'm kind of like really, I don't even know what to do.
I'm rousing myself up. I don't even know if I'm honest.
Go question.
It's all literature.
Just go.
It's all fiction. It's coming from the universe. Play another song?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I gotta reacclimate myself.
Yeah, me too. You want to play this one? I'm trying to think. I feel like we should play an uplifting one, but
shit.
No, you don't have to play an uplifting. If you want to make the folks cry, maybe we'll have a little yin and yang.
Okay.
A peak and a high and a low. Whatever you want.
We're gonna put some yang on this one.
Can I make a request?
We may not be able to fulfill it, but you can.
How dare you? How's that not possible? Will you guys play L.A. River?
I'll do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Please.
I'll try to mess it up.
I fucking love that song.
Sure.
You want to do it right now? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to try some little...
That's one of the cool things about music. You guys can take requests. If comedians take requests...
We haven't played this in a while. I will really try not to mess it up.
Unless it's Thunder Pussy. Like, that kind of request is great.
Maybe you just play.
Okay. What fucking key do we do it in? Okay.
It's different.
Boom. All right, I got this. I'm on this. Here we go.
Went down to the banks of the LA River, had to hop a chain link fence. Concrete walls on the LA River, water lapping up on the cement. Oh, but I love my new home. Listen to the big city sound. Watching that LA River roll down by the trains past Chinatown. Dip my fingers in the warm black water, raw red skin on my knee. Sail my boat down the LA River, thought I saw a body in the weeds. Oh, but I love my new home. Listen to the big city sound. Watching that LA River roll down by the trains past Chinatown. Chinatown.
Oh shit!
Well, we got through that one.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was crazy.
beautiful.
I haven't played that in a
I
while.
love that fucking song. That was badass. Holy shit.
Just out of tune.
That was really cool.
Man,
I like the banjos making a comeback. I like that.
Big time.
you know the banjo gets thrown under the bus a lot.
What happened? How'd the
Well,
banjo get a, you
One of
know?
the hillbillies, I think.
Oh, those
Everyone
motherfuckers.
You know what? It's okay.
got inundated.
I like being the underdog. I'm from Cleveland. You know, it's like you gotta come back up. Fucking banjo.
Deep respect for Drew Carey.
Oh man, I met Drew Carey. I
a
met
great
him at Swingers, the diner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's there like every day almost.
And
He's a great guy.
And I walked up to him, I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I'm a hometown hero lover, you know. And I was like, Drew, my name's Suzanne. I'm from Parma, Ohio, which is what the show
I think we
was
talked
based
about
on.
this on the podcast.
Yeah, did we? And he was so fucking nice. And he actually tweeted at us. I threw a tweet at him, and he was super cool. Really nice guy.
He's a sweetheart. He's a genuine nice guy.
Yeah.
It was nice. Nice when you run into people that are genuinely nice.
It's cool, you know. And when they're not, fuck them. Maybe you caught him on a bad day too. You can't really judge
Could
somebody.
be. Could be. We've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there. You guys gonna move back to LA? Come on.
I want to. We need to make
Get
this
out of here
record
with
and
this
then
Nashville
make
shit.
some more dough.
Make some more cash.
Make it rain.
You know what I was thinking, though? When you were talking about the banjo, I remember about Nashville. Something that's amazing about Nashville is it has this real wellspring of music, which is...
What'd you just do? Yeah, there's a lot of music in Nashville, right?
But there's a lot of traditional music and, like, stuff that's like, hey, this
Voodoo.
is American. You know, and not in a bad way. Like,
Right.
bluegrass music is... I mean, it didn't come out of Nashville specifically, but that region, you have traditional music, and you're not really in touch with that in many other places. Like here, there's a great music scene, but there aren't people who are like keeping a flame alive, as far as I...
That's interesting.
No.
So they're keeping like a bluegrass flame alive?
They really are. Like
Yeah?
American roots music is huge, and there's people that are dedicated to just like spreading this shit, and making sure people know about it.
Huh.
And that's why the banjo's still around, you know, because someone...
Yeah, I mean, there's always been a respect that rock and roll guys pay to things like the bluegrass or the blues. Or did you ever? I'm sure you guys know the song. One of my all-time favorite Skynyrd songs, the Ballad of Curtis Lowe. Do you know that song? Mm-hmm. It's about him picking up bottles and returning them so he could give money to this guy Curtis Lowe so he could sing him a song, because this guy would sit out and they'd give him money and he'd buy wine with it and he would sing songs for people. Mm-hmm. And it's just a fucking beautiful song. But it's not just a beautiful song, it's a beautiful song that Skynyrd did as like just in honor of these like unknown blues guys, like out of respect for
that are responsible for all this shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you look Jimi Hendrix. He didn't exist without these guys. I was reading about some guy. You know, this was like the recording era in the 40s and 50s. You'd have they just zone in on these blues guys. They'd find him on the street. This guy, Blind Willie McTell, he was, and they'd bring him up to New York and they'd cut songs with him, give him like $25, seriously, and send him back and make millions of dollars. And 20 years after he's put out all these records, this guy, like Atlantic Records, this guy Ahmet Erdogan finds him on the street still, and he's just doing his thing.
Wow, that's
still doing his
fucked.
thing. And there's a whole community of these guys, man.
Well, there was quite a few that definitely got taken advantage of, for sure. You know, and there's all this weird lore behind it all, too. Like, I always was fascinated by Robert Johnson, you know, and the whole story.
Crossroads.
Yeah, the Crossroads, where he sold his soul to the devil. I would have thought the devil would give him better songs. I mean, the songs are pretty good. They're really good, but they're really good for the time. I would think the devil would have, like, mad universal magic.
Yeah.
Like, there's songs that, for whatever reason, they just don't quite hang in there. They don't quite hold up. There's some old songs, you listen to them, they're fascinating, but they don't quite touch you. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you get to a certain point where they're like, okay, this song will exist forever. And my register is like songs like Whole Lotta Love. Like Zeppelin, Whole Lotta Love. Like, I don't give a fuck what happens. I don't care if they invent time travel. I don't care if you've got, like, robots on Pluto that put your body in suspended animation and print a 3D copy of it that breathes carbon dioxide and it wanders around the surface. I don't care. You're not going to make a better song than Whole Lotta Love. You might make a different song. It might be different, but it's not going to be better. It's not possible to be better. There's something about that. There's just something about the beauty of Palmer's voice and the sounds of the guitar, and Jimmy Page is hitting it perfect, and it's the time. It's the time. There's marijuana smoke in the air, and everyone's on LSD, and it's just it's just a different time. Yeah. They captured this rare moment where the universe gave birth to flowers. The universe gave birth to like these artistic flowers in the form of human expression. They were birthed out of the human consciousness and imagination.
Yeah, they're the pioneers. You know, they kind of started this thing. But it's interesting now, juxtaposed to like music made today, where there's so many manufactured sounds and stuff. It's not like, hey, this is what the drums sound in my friend's basement. You know, fucking awesome.
But doesn't it seem like things that are, I hate the word organic, but it seems like the right word to use to describe people like the Black Keys? Like that they...
Yeah, they're awesome, but they're also still, like, they didn't come up with that sound. Well, but they didn't come up with the blues. They just execute it really well.
Right, but Zeppelin, that's it's like the Robert Johnson thing.
Yeah.
And pioneers are like, that's a great word, and I also think not a fitting one necessarily, maybe ever, because somebody always did it before, and there was always something that they're
Isn't that
drawing
so
from.
true?
Yeah.
Isn't that so true? Isn't that what's unique about the whole thing?
Yeah.
Is that someone else has always... there's no real pioneers. It's just everyone is sort of handing a torch off, and there's this moments where someone comes up with a Whole Lot of Love, and you're like, "Wah!
Yeah.
What the fuck did you made a black diamond that weighs 1,000 pounds?"
Yeah.
You know, you figured out a way to make some like universally weird and unusual and important object.
And they probably weren't even trying. They're just kind of filtering this stuff. It's like a set of circumstances and experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, these British dudes hear this music. They're from this weird working class town, and when
wear
they
really
play
tight pants.
Yeah.
Flaunt the bulge.
And there's some of them that, you know, sometimes you have to step back away from them to realize how great they really were. Yeah. Like if you don't listen to Sweet Home Alabama for 6 months, and then that's what you have to do.
I do often.
It's like if you don't have sex for like 6 weeks, when you do have sex, it'll be so amazing. Because every touch will be like, the power of the touch will be inflated beyond belief. All of it, the sparks, the energy, but the only way for that to build up is you got to take some time off. And Sweet Home Alabama is overplayed to death. They beat the fuck out of that song because it's so good. But sometimes you could forget. You forget how good it is. But it's still a good
roll in the hay, is what you're saying?
All you need is a little time off. You need a little time off, and you realize that's God trying to speak through some fat, long-haired Florida boys. That's God speaking through them.
I'm trying to find the correlation between not having sex for 6 weeks and then listening to Sweet Home
because you have to.
Don't like
can't. Familiarity breeds contempt.
To me, we're just.
Familiarity breeds contempt. You know Sweet Alabama inside and out. You can't appreciate what it really is. What it really is these guys found a lightning rod to the universal constant. They just hit that fucking button. Sweet Home Alabama. And this is 70. Who the fuck knows? The cars were all dog shit. Fucking oil crises and fucking Nixon and Jimmy Carter. Everybody's a mess. Yeah. And then all of a sudden these fat guys out of Florida, ugly, white trash, fat guys. Sweet Home Alabama. Not even fat all the time. Like in the beginning, actually kind of
That's kind of a happy song, man. That's like a joyful song at moments, right?
They were amazing. Whatever the fuck they were for that brief moment of time, you know, before that plane crash, they were amazing.
Oh, God.
Leonard Skinner, to this day, if I have like a list of shit on my iPod and I'm like at an airport or something like that and I'm scrolling through and I see my little Skinnerd folder, I'm like, fuck, you gotta go to Skinnerd. You gotta go to Skinnerd, man.
It's like AC/DC. I feel the same way.
Fuck yeah. Even if every song sounds like an AC/DC song, like they don't vary at all.
Doesn't matter. It's like that's like a chemical
that's their
rush
flavor. It's
when
like-
you put that stuff.
Yeah.
on.
Well, I want Oreos.
They're so unique in that.
AC/DC.
And it's like, dun, dun, you hear that. Like, they have that such a marching sort of style,
Yeah, that's rousing shit.
So many guys come, like, into the cage, into mixed martial arts fights, and even in boxing fights.
They listen to AC/DC.
Fuck yeah. Thunderstruck's a big one.
We had a really kind of defining moment of our lifetime. I would say not lifetime, but we saw Black Sabbath.
Oh.
we were overseas. We were in Amsterdam, and it actually happened to have been Thanksgiving as well. And a friend of ours got us tickets to see Black Sabbath, and you got to think like, how much longer does Ozzy got? You don't want to miss it if you have an opportunity. And it was amazing. Like, it was really. You really saw his energy was so genuine. It really was. You could tell he was having a blast. He couldn't sing for shit. I mean, he was so off key that he was almost back in key. Like, it was so far off an octave that it was almost back in. But it was so entertaining to see him because he really felt like you felt his energy was like across the whole. Like, it was called the Ziggo Dome.
Right.
It was this huge, place, and it was a really crazy experience to see Ozzy Osbourne. Up on stage, doing his thing. He's got his, like, signature moves. Like, between each song, he'd be like, I can't fucking hear you! And then
Seriously.
screaming, and it was
God.
crazy. But it was
Literally.
really, really great to see. Like, he's legendary.
Brian, you remember when we went to see... You were with me when we went to see Steel Panthers, right?
Yeah, in Vegas.
We went to
We
see
saw
Steel
them.
Panthers in
When did we
Vegas.
see them?
And the dude who's the lead singer does the most insane impression of Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, pitch, movement, like the way he shuffles on stage. He does Crazy Train, and it's like, holy shit. It's so good, it makes you want to go see Ozzy Osbourne. It really is
That's
so
a
good.
bizarre place that they have, right? Bands like Steel Panther.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but it makes you want to see somebody else.
Well, they have, they're not just a band, they're like a show.
Uh-huh.
Those
yeah,
guys
it's
are...
kind of like a review, right?
Well, it's almost like a little bit of that. Is this them doing it? It's hard to tell, but this audio is hard to hear. When we see it live, though, it's fucking insane. I mean, he sounds like Ozzy Osbourne in his prime. I mean, exactly. It's brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, it made you want to go see Ozzy before it's too late.
Yeah.
Who knows how they're keeping that
there
guy
was
alive.
a good 20 to 30-minute drum solo that went on.
It was being
it was-
transported. You were in the 70s.
You
know what I
were
mean?
there,
Like, you went
yeah.
back, and this is what people
I don't smoke
did.
weed very often, but I did in Amsterdam, and it was crazy. I mean, you're just like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get high at Black Sabbath.
I remember one time I
I'm
was
really
writing.
bad at it.
I was coming home on a plane and I was writing, and a lot of times when I write, I'll eat like a pot edible before I get on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And this one was particularly strong. And for whatever reason, I decided to play Crazy Train over and over and over again. I put it on repeat, and I
Interesting choice.
played that song for fucking 5 hours while I was writing, all the way from New York back to LA. It was 5 hours of Crazy Train.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dear God.
It's just one of those things. It's like you catch a great groove. Just
That's
ride
interesting.
it.
I've never thought about writing to other music because I'm writing music, but that'd be, like
Like, why does it sound
listening,
exactly like Crazy
like
Train?
when I was like I could never study when I was in school. I could never really study if there's music in the background because I'd be really distracted by
me
it.
neither.
Most
That's
of the
really
time, I feel the
interesting.
same way, but I needed comfort.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Just 5 hours.
I was too high.
That's dedication.
I needed comfort. But it's also when you get super high, patterns start to, once they become like very recognizable by the mind settles into this idea that there's not going to be any interruptions in those patterns. So like Crazy Train essentially becomes like a 3-minute and 35-second ohm.
That's
It
great. This
becomes
is
like-
helping me because I'm really bad at being high. I'm so bad. I'm not. It's not. I lose my sparkle. I
In what
really
way?
just can't. I can't. I'm not present. I can't really focus on a conversation, and I feel very self-aware, and I want to take a fucking nap.
I
Makes me
hear
tired.
you. I totally understand those things. They're very, very logical. But I think that what I like about it is that terrible feeling of everything going completely off the rails.
Yeah.
And then you get back to reality, you
thrill
take a
seeker?
deep breath, and you go, we're okay. Everything's okay. Because it gives you such a bizarrely introspective perspective and such an intensely sensitive view of the world that when the ride is over, like you get off and you go, okay, we're fine now.
Okay, this is helpful. Thank
It's like
you.
going on a really shitty vacation, so
helpful
work
hints.
feels better.
So you appreciate your job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not even that it's shitty. It's just that in its uniquely terrifying moments, it reveals to you the beauty of just placid reality when everything's just relaxed.
See, I used to smoke all the time, but I hit this rut of massive anxiety and just sick.
Well, you don't really remember, like, was it like your 23rd and 24th year? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was about 2 years. I was about high for 2 years.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was really tough to
figured
work
I
with you
bet
then.
that
I love you,
shaped
but
you.
those were some tough
Shaped
times.
you as a man.
Yeah,
All those
I can't
journeys you
remember
went on.
anything.
Those cosmic voyages to despair.
Yeah, exactly. Very familiar
Twisty,
with it.
turny roads into the night
Well,
where
for
you hear
you,
your car
weed is
start
like
to sputter.
cocaine. You're like...
It is. It's very much an upper.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Like,
Yeah, it's
if we have
really
to drive
tough to
for a
be
long
around.
time, I'm
tough to be around. What is, it's interesting how they will prescribe certain like kind of uppers to people that are hyperactive, and it sort of balances that
Adderall's
out.
really fun. Let me tell you.
I've heard that from several people this week.
It feels like the
Yeah,
two
with good
times I've
people.
taken Adderall recreationally. Sorry. I felt like I was on mushrooms. It was the best thing ever. Actually, we were in Paris. We were in Paris on
What
tour.
jacks up your dopamine?
And I took an Adderall, and we went to the Eiffel Tower, and I had the best time ever. I felt amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super
That's
fun.
insane.
And we had a really fun show. I mean,
Are there
I wouldn't...
croissants? Do they have croissants?
Did you
here?
just show
Wait,
on
croissant,
Adderall?
No. It was way earlier in the day. I was
Oh, so
ready to...
the
rumble.
Adderall was worn off?
Yeah, I don't like to be...
How long does it take to wear off?
I don't know, 6 hours.
Oh my
It's an hour.
God.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
an
It was a
investment.
great time. It was a
You're
great
the
time.
second person. Hannibal Buress said it the other day,
It
too.
was really fun. But,
Buress? I say his name wrong all the time.
with
Buress.
with
Sorry.
shows and
Sorry, Hannibal.
stuff like that, you definitely you got to be present. You don't want. I have to be in control of all of my faculties
Wow.
as much as possible.
Yeah, no, I totally understand, but something that lasts for 6 hours, that seems like fuck.
Yeah, boners that last for 6 hours.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
That's a
We've
problem.
talked about that 2 days.
All of it's a problem. All of it's a problem.
God, it's crazy. Did you wear a fanny pack or something to like?
I actually just took one last night, so I'm on it right now.
So are you? Do you
Wow.
have wood right now?
TMI,
Don't answer that.
Brian.
I don't know if I want to know.
TMI.
I feel uncomfortable.
I'm amazed how you could feel comfortable ever here. Just knowing he's breathing.
So you're saying you went out last night, or did you just stay home alone?
Sometimes he just fires one of them up just to let everybody know what's up.
Yeah, I got a massage last night, so I just did it before that.
Right.
A massage, in quotes, air quotes.
You creeper.
It's just better that way.
Listen, we live in trying times. He's
It
dealing
wasn't
with
even a rub and
reality
tug.
with-
You just wanted to fuck with the massage therapist.
Just gonna stare at it, freak
What
her
an
out.
asshole. What an asshole. This giant fucking snake coming out of the top of his pants.
It's a place
What
at the
is that?
mall.
Is that a turtle head? What is that? What is that? What's that?
Oh God.
What's that pink
Can we
thing?
go back to
peeking up
talking
over-
about passion and fun?
Yeah.
other-
Well, you know what? We need to talk about everything. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't just talk only about passion. People get bored of the same goddamn speeches over and over again.
You brought up the boner anyway.
Listen,
I did. Shit. Story of my life.
I would bring it up if I was a chick too.
You're welcome.
If I was a chick, I'd be bringing up boners all day. So
Hey, hey,
explain
hey.
to me boners. Do you know when they're
What are
coming?
you guys doing later?
I'd be like, is it like, does it give you like a whisper? Do you hear like whistling in your ears? You know the demon boners on its way? The howling between the worlds opens up just a creak and the boner spirits come flying through your fucking nervous system.
Boner spirits.
You feel them.
Boners.
Yeah. Like I had an interesting conversation with this girl once, and she was talking about like the difference between a woman getting excited and a man getting excited is that it's pretty obvious if a man's excited. But like a woman could be a prostitute and she could totally pretend to be excited
Sure.
and not give a fuck. But a man has like this one thing that he has to show.
Yeah.
So if he's like acting excited but he doesn't have an erection, they're like, hey.
Something's
What are you doing? Are you
wrong
being
here.
deceptive here?
Liar.
What's going on here?
You are full of shit.
It's interesting how nature set that up. It's way easier to lie to dudes. It's also way easier to lie to dudes. But
I
it just
disagree
is.
though. I'm not. I mean, God, we're totally getting down. But like, if you're not wet, you're not wet, and that's got to be disappointing for a dude. Yeah, but that's. I mean,
Stick
come
a
on.
little lube between
There's
your
a
fingers.
difference.
We don't know any better.
You know
We're
there's a
retarded,
difference.
barely. I could convince myself otherwise. Men are retarded. It's easy for us to. She's not. She wasn't wet, but it was. She was so
the
horny.
difference between
The problem
your
is
spit
she's
and
on
the
this
real
new
juice.
pill. This doesn't. She's probably going to get off and go organic. She's probably gluten free.
It does make a difference.
I'm sure it
being
does.
on birth control and not on birth control. It's
What I'm
like
saying
a
is
mind fuck.
I bet it does.
It's
yeah.
insane. You have better orgasms, like the whole thing. It's like you
Off of it.
come out from this. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure.
it's like a muted sexual side to yourself.
I'm sure. I mean,
But your boobs get bigger, and that's fun.
it's
for a
letting your
time.
body think that it's pregnant.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
really
that's
weird.
what it is. It's letting your body think that it's pregnant.
I don't think I would ever go back on anything like that. It's crazy.
It's probably not the smartest thing for your body, right? But it helps people in some things, like girls who have acne. A lot of times
does.
will get on
It
it.
actually gave me acne.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a real bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting still also that they've never figured out a solution like that for men, like a pill solution. And I wonder if it
Did they
had
try that hard?
the same sort of compromising aspects. Like,
Well, there's Accutane if you want the hard stuff, but that's pretty
no.
fucked
I
up.
think we're talking about
I don't mean for
boners.
zits.
Right.
I
Whoa.
mean something that keeps
Moving
men
up north.
makes men sterile.
Like a sterilizer
Yeah.
pill. Well, that's a horrible thought. Is it like a temporary sterilization?
Listen to what you just said. That's a horrible thought. But the pill.
because I think
is
about
like
the
so-
Well,
irreversible
vasectomy is
side of it.
reversible, is it not? And apparently it's like a walk-in procedure.
I don't
Just
know
do it, guys.
if it's 100%
Make it easier for us.
reversible. I think sometimes they can, you have to go to a really good doctor that knows what they're doing. But I think there definitely can be complications whenever you start cutting and stitching stuff
It is
back up.
unfortunate that all of the pressure lies on the woman. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
it
You
is.
wanna
It
have
is.
And you're right. I did
unprotected
just
sex.
kind of reveal it like that. Now that I think about it, it's horrifying to me to think of fucking with the testicles, but at the same time, it's totally routine to be like,
Yeah.
hey, take that pill.
Yeah, do you know what it's like to get an IUD? That shit is fucked up. I went into shock.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went into shock. Like I literally, had like it's called baso or vague. I don't know how to describe. I can't remember the actual word.
Vasodilation?
But you your body like it doesn't reject
I'm
it.
just
but
repeating words I've heard online.
It's it's close, but it's like
Wikipedia?
there's a word for it, and I know I'm gonna say it
Transcontinental
incorrectly,
Railroad?
but it's intense.
The
you know?
Gadsden Purchase.
It's great. It's really funny.
I'm sorry. We're talking about
Can't
you
you guys
going
be
into shock
sensitive for me?
because you got a robot and fucking inserted into your vagina, and we're like coming up with witty words. Sorry.
No, I'm
what
over
a bunch
it.
of dicks.
I feel better. It's okay.
I-
I can
you
fucking
know,
hang with the boys. Come on.
It certainly is like rude, not just of us, but of culture to sort of make that distinction. Like it would be disgusting for a guy to take a pill that makes you sterile, like kills your sperm. You would be like
Do you
turned
think
off
they've
by
thought
that.
of it and just didn't put it on the market?
I think there's a certain valuable asset sort of mindset that goes along with the idea of fertility. And I think that virility and fertility are very important to men. And the idea of killing all your spermies with a pill seems scary.
Yeah.
You know, if you're really going to totally commit, you would get an operation. If you weren't going to totally commit, the idea of cooking them with some sort of an evil compound.
Man, just freeze that shit.
swallowing it.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, but
It can't come out the same way. It's like vegetables.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
probably.
Would you cook with frozen vegetables?
it's like drinking V8.
Sure.
Would you rather cook with frozen vegetables?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, something's wrong there.
Yeah,
Something's wrong.
okay,
We don't know
fair
what it
enough.
is. I totally get it. If I was a chick, I'd be really bummed out if somebody wanted me to take a pill that made my body think that it's pregnant
Yeah.
and then also kills your libido, which is probably what nature would do, like almost automatically if you're pregnant. Probably like, okay, slow down, hooker.
Yeah.
Slow down. You don't need any more dick. You got a baby on the way.
You know,
Take it down a notch.
It's an interesting, like, when you go through your relationships, like, obviously if you're dating, it's not as much of a problem, you know, because you use condoms and that's fine, honestly. Like, but if you're really serious with somebody and then you get to that point where you're like, you know, I love you, I don't want to use this anymore. Let's kick it up a notch.
Right.
You know, it is. Then you get to that point where like you have to figure out, well, shit, how do I want to manipulate my body to have more pleasurable sex or a more intimate connection, if you will, and or you know, let's have a, you know, risk that we're going to take, and it may or may not make a baby. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, the idea may or may not make a person is a fucking tricky thing, especially when you're young musicians trying to travel the road and.
Yeah, I don't want to get anybody pregnant on the road. That would fucking suck.
What would happen if you had to visit your baby daddy in Tennessee? You got some guy pregnant in Tennessee.
Awful.
Imagine if chicks could get guys pregnant. Boy, dudes would be such prudes. It'd be hilarious. If girls could get us pregnant, they'd be like fucking guys would be. It would be a total role reversal.
What the fuck are you crying about?
Well, I could jerk off. I just fucking jerk off. I'm fine over here, just jerking off. I don't need anybody getting me pregnant.
We'd just get tons of abortions. We'd be everyone would be getting abortions every day.
But what if you were a dude who had this like weird sort of genetic desire to breed? You know, what if you were like you had all these male aggressive qualities that we associate with being male, but also the need to get pregnant? Like the universe hit a switch on you. There's weirder shit when it comes to like fucking frogs that can switch sex and weird fucking bugs that...
You know, it's interesting. Some people love to get pregnant just to say that they're pregnant. I'm not kidding. It's really fucking weird. You meet a lot of people out there, you know, and it's just like...
Do you think they're really getting pregnant just to say they're pregnant? Or do you think they just like to fuck?
Maybe they're not getting pregnant, but sometimes they enjoy the...
What's like an accomplishment? Abortion. Right? To a certain degree.
Well, it definitely gets you congratulations almost immediately.
Well, I definitely feel like it can be. Let me rephrase that because go for it, everybody. If you wanna get down, procreate, like fucking more power to you. But you have to admit you've seen people exploit it.
Yes.
In a way that it's like, do you really want to have this life that you're creating, or do you just love like your Facebook updates and you know what I mean? Like there's an interesting aspect like. I think it's someone someone I know posted a photo of the pregnancy test.
Right.
On the Facebook. It was like, you peed on that. That's fucked up. You know?
As I think as a person who's never given birth, your perspective would radically change if you
That's true. And I've never been pregnant
inside of you. But it's also like what people choose to and not to share on Facebook.
Right.
You know, that gets real squirrely. Like when you like sometimes like you go on someone's Facebook and like especially if it's someone that you know and they write like a bunch of like really personal shit about a relationship or something. You're like, I don't. I'm going to walk away from this. Like I'm certainly not going to comment. Yeah. You go, girl. You know, good things come to those who wait. Or some fucking Maxwell House coffee commercial. Like, I mean, like whatever. You know, blah blah blah. Sorry to hear you're in the dumps. Like why are people like broadcasting stuff like that to the whole world?
Remember the guy who was like, that's it, I'm done. Like I'm on the edge.
People really reach out, man.
And you reached out to him because you're a good man. Ben had somebody that he knew. We're not gonna, but like it was.
Say his name. It'd be good for everybody involved.
Norman Rockwell.
Norman, your painting seems so cheery. Americana. Yeah. You captured it.
Well, I think people are fucking lonely.
Yeah.
And
that's it, right?
That is an outlet that everyone has access to, you know? So nobody's going to listen to them in real life, so they can put it out there, and maybe someone will listen to them digitally.
It's a powerful and yet terrifying thing sometimes, because then you get people that are fucking annoying, and then people that are really serious in a dark way, or, you know, it's such a weird balance. I can never tell how I feel about it, because social media is great for a band like us, because that's how you stay afloat.
Right.
You know, that's how you stay present.
Right.
Because we're not a signed band. We're not on the radio. But at the same time, then there's then your personal circle, your personal friends. And that's some crazy shit. You know, sometimes you just get these people that like, they want to reveal these really personal things. And I never know what to do.
Right.
I just block that shit.
And I think it can be off-putting, but it's also important too for people to be able to get shit out. right?
Yeah.
I was listening to something they were talking
Get a
about
journal.
these mental health. No, yeah, talk to
Sorry.
people. I think it's good to talk to people, man.
Yeah, talking
And-
to people's definitely the best.
Yeah.
It is. You're right. You're right. I'm
I heard
sorry.
something about
I'm
mental
being
health
nice.
workers in Africa, right? And they were over there, and all these African tribes, people or more native people, were kind of rejecting these mental health workers because they'd come in, and these people, these African people would say, well, they come in here and they don't say anything about dancing, they don't say anything about putting it out for the community, they don't say anything about turning these feelings, depersonalizing them as evil spirits. They just tell us to come into a room with a stranger, a dark room with a stranger, and talk about their problems.
Talk about the bad
therapy.
shit.
Huh? Instead of, and they'd say, we don't want this kind of Western feel. We want to just get it out and do it together and dance and hang. And I'm not saying Facebook is really doing that, but there's a certain similarity there between like, man, share it. It's all right.
It is eventually, I think.
There's excessive sharing, though.
Well, there's excessive sharing, and there's also like it's all about like the comfort that people have in discussing like very personal relationship stuff with or very personal morbid thoughts or worries about your own finite life or whatever it is that you like. Sometimes you read someone's Facebook page and you want to know whether or not you should reach out to them, read some like weird moody thing that they wrote, and you go, whoa, like what the fuck is he saying here?
Yeah.
Like, what is this, some shit that I'm gonna read and then wish that I called him when I hear that something went wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all worry about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what we're doing by like connecting with each other on like things like Twitter and then things like Facebook and then ultimately whatever the new ones are that keep coming, because it seems like it's never going to stop. They're going to get like deep. This Oculus Rift Facebook connection, who knows where the hell that's going to lead? But that could lead to some insane place. I mean, Oculus Rift, if you've never put it on before, Duncan has one of these things. You slap the helmet on, maybe he'll let you use it. It's amazing, and right now it's in its
What
infancy.
is it? I don't know anything about it.
Oh, how dare you!
Teach me.
Oculus Rift is
We
a
live a
new
sheltered life.
version of virtual reality that they're developing games for, and they have a few demos right now, and they're making some new games. But most of what you're getting when you look at the tech these days is essentially samples of what's potentially possible. A door into whatever this is that's so intoxicating that Facebook. How much they pay for it?
I think it was $300.
$300 is a
Well,
good
it's just
bargain.
a dev kit right now. So like right now, it's really
No. I mean, how much did Facebook pay?
$2
$2 billion.
Jesus.
I thought you were being silly. You're like $300. I'm like, damn. I wish I'd known. I would give him $4. Shit. But $2 billion? Hello. That's how crazy this technology is. You put this headset on and you like look around and you see the sky, you see leaves falling from the trees, you see birds flying around. 3-dimensional environment.
What?
Yeah, and they have this one.
Can you interact with it?
You can walk around in it.
Uh-huh.
Right now, you can't interact with it, but
I want to text
unquestionably, it's
Duncan
coming.
and say, I want to wear your helmet. But that might be weird.
No, it won't. He'll let you do both. You should be specify which one you like first, or whether or not together, because that would be fucking crazy. With the helmet on, you'd be like, "What am I feeling? But what am I seeing? I see leaves falling, but someone's fucking me in the ass."
They really got to figure it out though, because it still makes a lot of people sick. And every time I let people use it, they're like, "Oh, yeah." Most of them are like, "No, I can't. I have to sit down."
Well, I tried it. And it didn't make me sick. I think it's the universe trying to weed out weak bitches.
Did you do the roller coaster one?
No, I'm just kidding. The one I did was so mild. I'm completely kidding, because all I did was walk around in the backyard. It didn't make me sick.
The demo.
But I have heard I get sick when I read my laptop in the back of a car. Like if I'm in the back seat and someone else is driving and I try to read my laptop.
So how are you with things like Call of Duty, like 360 video games? I can't do that shit. It's like watching the Blair Witch Project.
I don't play them because I get
Makes me
addicted to
serious
games.
peaky.
I have an
Seriously peaky?
issue. Seriously peaky? Peaky?
I've got a little bit of nothing.
You get a little crazy with Call of Duty?
It just makes you pukey.
Oh,
it makes me
pukey.
super.
I thought you said
nauseous.
peaky. I was
I
like,
might,
I'm not
I
sure
might
what
have.
you
I
mean.
feel like I hear myself slurring, and I want to stop talking now. So goodbye.
Listen, I think we're out of time. We're going to turn
That's
into
perfect.
a pumpkin any second now. But It's always awesome hanging out with you guys. I'm honored to be your
Thank
friends.
you so much.
I love you guys. You're the shit. You're
love
such
you too.
positive, awesome, fun people to be around. And I can speak for Brian. We're honored to be friends with you.
Heck yeah.
I'm tired of speaking for you, Brian. Speak for yourself, bitch.
I love you guys.
Love you, Brian.
There, he said it. He means it too. He tells me when you're not around. Thanks to our podcast sponsors. Thanks to God damn it, why don't I ever pull this stuff
Luminosity.
in? Yeah, I know what it is. I just don't know what their code is. Lumosity.
Make them all the same.
Hold on, I'll find out. Lumosity. I won't leave you hanging, you freaks, because I love your.
I think you just say
your
that
website.
Joe sent you. Like there's when you're signing up, there's a place to actually choose.
No, it's actually you're wrong again, Brian. It's lumosity.com/Joe. So go to lumosity.com/Joe and click the Start Training button and start playing your first game. Lumosity, it's a bunch of cool games designed to increase your brain's ability to function faster because of exercise. The idea is it's a gym for your mind. Now, what I said there, your brain's ability to function faster, take into account that I am certainly not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination, nor do I know if those games really, truly... I read studies that they say that games, video games especially, enhance cognitive function in some strange way. What the fuck do I know, though, folks, huh? Am I there while they're doing these tests, huh? What I'm saying is, Lumosity is fun and accomplishes a lot of the things that they've attributed to video games. You can even design games specifically for the shit that you're interested in. And I'm giving Lumosity a full commercial because I'm not sure if we did it the first time because it got sort of eliminated by an accidental Mac explosion. Anyway, lumosity.com/Joe. I will see you guys on Friday with the great Dennis McKenna. Dennis is bringing in a good friend of his, and we're going to have a crazy podcast that is most likely going to blow your fucking mind. So tune in then as well. And I will see you guys April 3rd in Miami at the Fillmore Theater with the great Tony Hinchcliffe. And the other two dates, Baltimore on April 25th and Orlando on April 18th. Both those dates are almost sold out. So hop on it, freaks. All right, much love. See you soon. Big kiss. Honey, honey. Honey, honey band on Twitter. Holla.